Well, welcome to another exciting, explosive edition of a Collar Nation radio show. Welcome. Thanks for joining us, folks. As we people come in, please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that like button as you come in. And like I said, I am always appreciative of my audience. Thanks for all your love and support, and everything. So we're gonna get right down tonight, as we always do. I took a night off last night. I was just tired, folks. I couldn't do it. Yeah, I can't do shows like that. So I'm overseas. Maybe when I get back to the States, I don't know if I'm gonna be doing shows every night like before. I gotta cut down because I got a lot of work I gotta do when I get back. So it's gonna be a while till I get on like 7 nights a week shows again. Probably cut down to like 4 nights a week, when I get back. But folks, we got a good show tonight. When talking about these diaspora conflicts and everything, I got a whole lot to say, as you may know. Uh, I am a distinguisher, not a delineator, because to be perfectly honest with you, if I want to delineate, there's a lot of Negroes in America I really want to delineate from. You know, what I don't understand is people who say they want to delineate, but they don't put things in the proper context. For example, if you have a brother from Africa and he's a hardworking man and he's a family man and he does his thing, minds his business, pays his taxes, raises a family and stuff like that, and he lives in the community and everything like that, he's sharing his culture and he's respectful to us. Why are you trying to delineate from that sort of person? Why would you delineate from that sort of person? But at the same time, the same people, when I say, look, we got a lot of hood rats and stuff like that, that there's a growing number of black people. People forget the whole black fatigue thing started with black people who were just tired of the ghetto antics, the tired of ghetto black America. It seems the FBA people haven't addressed that yet, They basically, the FBA reminds me of white supremacists. White supremacists don't care that a person could be white trash, trailer trash, a criminal, as long as they're white, as long as they come from the same background. The delineators are tribal, practicing some sort of tribalism. That's a difference between a distinguisher. Like me, I'm African American. My ancestors came here to be the transatlantic slave trade. I have a history here. I'm an African descent, but I'm an American. So that's a distinction, right? That's not a delineation. That's a distinction. Okay. The delineators. Now if you do not consider yourself that, then I don't claim you. If you're gonna come here and call yourself a copper colored indigenous, then we're not the same thing. I'm clearly defined who I am. I'm a descendant of the transatlantic slave trade. My ancestors are from North Carolina, Virginia, and Georgia. My ancestors came here in the mid 1600s. And so the bottom line is my ancestors came from Central Africa and West Africa via the transatlantic slave trade. And I have a history here, whether it's gospel, whether it's R&B, whether it's dance, whether it's jumping the broom at weddings. I am quintessentially the African American experience. Okay, I am Christian. The foods I eat, the things I say, the vernacular I speak. I speak my African American vernacular really well. And so therefore I am a quintessential black African American. That's who I am. That's who I represent. Now, if somebody shares that culture with me, I'll say, hey, okay, we're on the same page. But I will never discriminate against somebody who does not have my same background. You know, I'll say, hey, look, you're cool, I'm cool. Let's all sit back and let's get along together. Let's see how we can work things out. I'm like that. Whatever. I'm a Pan Africanist. I believe all Black people should work together and be one family. At the same time, we should respect each other's differences. There's nothing wrong with that. See, I think the whole argument has been hijacked by these. Look, let me tell you something. I'm gonna break it down to you tonight, and I have the evidence to prove it. The FBA movement is nothing but a hate cult, and given a chance, they always they consistently have an audience now, which they keep slipping in this. Oh, we're the copper colored indigenous to America. No, we're not. Soon as you say you're indigenous to America, what you're doing is erasing the Maafa, the transatlantic slave trade. How we got to America is through slavery. When you say I'm an indigenous America, what you're doing is erasing our history. So I cannot deal with that, and I cannot deal with that. Now, if you believe that, I want to delineate from you. So when we talk about delineation, let's talk about the whole thing. There's people I want to delineate from in Black America. Because I don't trust them. I don't trust them. Why light go back out? I don't trust what they stand for because I've so many evidence. I've been seeing it. People, what they do is they bait you in, to something you believe. Oh yes, the Canadians are talking about claiming Michael B. Jordan. That's a legitimate thing. And I say, like, yeah, we should have a distinction between Michael B. Jordan and what he is. He's one of us. We're like, that's a distinction. His culture, his heritage, and everything. That's a distinction. And so therefore you should guard that. I get that. But then they'll turn the page and be like, yeah, that's why, people say they'll add this in there. They'll add this in there towards the end when they got you in there. And I've been burned so many times, right? That's why I said I got my finger on the scroll button really quick when I'm going through TikTok. I got my finger on that block button real quick. They'll sit there and be like going wrong. Yeah, yeah, we did this. What they'll do is they'll start talking about accomplishments and all that. We invented this and everything like that. It was FBA did this, whatnot. And they'll say on that we didn't come from no damn Africa. People like that. There's one clown on TikTok, right? And they keep inviting me to their TikTok things. And I won't go on their lives. They keep inviting me because they want to debate me. And I won't go on their lives. I'm not going to dignify these fools with a response, so I don't go on their lives. So anyway, why is Afrosphere inviting me to Telegram chat? I'm doing a show, man. Don't you understand? I got more things to do than mess with you clowns. Let's see. I'm doing a show. Let me see. I'm doing a show. What's up, Rico? I'm doing a show. I am doing a show. I'm on live. I'm on live. Can't be on this Telegram app tonight because I got bigger things to do. I got bigger fish to fry. I got a YouTube show to do. So you guys had your chance last night. I was off. I tried to start up a chat. You guys, no one came on. So hey, it is what it is. So you catch me next time. But yeah, so the delineators, right? And I'm looking at these FBA people more and more now. Rico Miller, I mean, you got some explaining to do. Your FBA people, they're going around now. The FBA, I think Tariq has lost the argument. At least Tariq does acknowledge. But the problem with Tariq is this: Tariq is such a grifter. He doesn't believe in anything he's doing. Right? You notice how I'm in one way. I'm one way. I don't get up. People don't come up here and be like, Kyle, how many people want me to co-sign that bullshit? And I'm like, nah, I don't believe in that. Like Baruti, I can't co-sign that Ubuntu bullshit, because I know it's bullshit. Now I can make another friend and be like, oh yes, a Brutu, blah blah blah. And I love Baruti and my brother Dollar Bill, but I know what I'm saying is the truth. That stuff is bullshit, you know. And I'm not gonna put my people through that like nothing else because we're tired. Our black people in America are tired. We're tired of charlatans coming along with the next best thing. Oh, we got the Nation of Islam. We got the Garvey movement. We got this. We got that. And then next thing you know, the movements fail. And we don't have all kinds of people came through our committee. We had Daddy Grace. We had Father Divine and the Nation of Islam, Nation of Gods and Earths. When does it freaking stop? When does it stop? So therefore, then we had the Kwanzaa. That was a big thing. Ooh, 7 pictures of Kwanzaa. And all the 60 years Kwanzaa's been around. So this year will make 60 years, 2026. 1966, Kwanzaa was created. 60 years later, right? And same year, the Black Panther Party was established. Both of them are defunct. So people have had so many letdowns over the years of people bringing these cults and these organizations up in our community, in our culture, right? And I'm saying enough is enough. Enough is a friggin' enough. When people basically come in and start bringing with one more cult, one more thing, I'm like, yeah, well, I wish you a lot of luck, but don't friggin' I said, don't put me involved in your cult until you can prove something out to me. And look, I believe nothing what I hear and very little of what I see. That's where I'm at right now. All I know is my ancestors came here via the transatlantic slave trade. I'm a minority group in a country ruled by people, descendants of the people that enslaved my ancestors, and we try to do the best we can out of a bad situation. We don't have a government. We don't have an army. We don't have a military. We have no diplomacy. We have no state. We have no recognized anything on a global stage, right? So that's what we're dealing with. We're second and third class Americans in the United States, you know? So therefore, that's the hand we're dealt with, okay? That's the hand we dealt with. That's important to understand that because when other people come to the states, you got people have a country to go back to. You know, our situation is the only thing that we have is really the 14th Amendment, which gave us what looked like is thank you. What looked like is privilege. Everybody's scrambling now about being deported and stuff like that. So the only thing we have in Black America is that 14th Amendment. So that allows us some breathing room to escape the persecution and the othering that other people are things. So some people think that's a blessing, and to be honest with you, right? You know, I guess it is a safety thing. So people think people say I'm a people. So when some Black people say, okay, my situation is different because I'm an American. I have a history here. The Civil War was fought. They had the Dred Scott decision, and then the Civil War was fought. After which was the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment, which we were clearly named in that. So that makes me a full-fledged American. I don't have to do anything else. And some people in the Pan-African world, no, 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 we're all one struggle. No, 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 no. That's where the delineators come in and be like, oh, we got delineate. No, we don't have to delineate. All you have to do is be distinct. You know, when you around your Haitian family or your Jamaican family or your African family, and they're talking about ICE and stuff like that, you just have to tell them, look, that's not. I feel what you're saying, but that is not my fight. ICE is not my fight. Immigrants coming to America hurts Black America. You know, I'm seeing this thing where there's one Black brother. He's in Boston, and Boston, the mayor is this Chinese lady that's this rabid leftist, and he's like, he got put out of a. He was a working guy, lost his job, whatever like that. He has to get help and such like so people do. And he said the place he was getting his help from, right? You know, people help you get on a job and stuff like that. These programs are important. People use these things to get on their feet, get a place to shelter, whatnot. He said he go in there and the only people they got in there helping are migrants, illegal migrants in Boston. Now I say, now you got people now who are trying to equate the Somalis and the immigrants struggle to our struggle. No, we are a distinction. We came here involuntarily. America owes us a debt for that. We were brought here against our will. All these other people came here willingly, involuntarily. They're not distinct. There's a real distinction between someone who came here, ancestors came here 400 years ago, had to endure this country's the worst of this country, and somebody who just came off the boat and off a plane, just wanting all these privileges and rights. There is a distinction, right? I'm a distinguisher. I'm not a delineator, right? Now, all other things we can sit back and talk. I mean, I like to see. I don't think. Let me give you a perfect example. I'm talking about the FBA delineators. Oh man, I was liking such and such one, but I heard he has a grandmother that's fucking Haitian. That's the dumbest thing I've ever fucking heard in my life. No, I can't. I'm gonna delineate from all these black immigrants. What they do to you? Well, blah blah blah. But what about all the hood rats and the YNs that are tearing up the community? Are you trying to delineate from them? No, those are our people. Blah 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 blah. Like I said, like this sounds like Knack music. Those are our people. Those dudes are destroying. Look, there's a growing number of black people saying the hood culture has to die. And the only delineation I see in Black America really are the black people who are trying to delineate from the hood culture. You saw what just happened in Daytona, Florida. You saw what just happened in Houston. Black people at the point were retired. So when we talk about delineation, right, don't tell me about delineating from a fucking immigrant who's maybe have a fucking goosey soup kitchen or a barbershop or minding his business. You see him out there raising a family. I said, look, I saw this one time, and a couple of years ago, I was sitting in a restaurant, and this African guy, I just knew he was African from the, you just know. Wife was real quiet, had 2, 3 kids there, son, whatever like that. And they were just talking. So I said, that has to be an African family. He was like real nice, and I waved. I said, how you doing? Like a beautiful family you got there. Oh, I knew they're Africans, just by the way they act. So I'm supposed to be like, you know something? You're from Senegal. I got to delineate from you. What for? Because Tariq Nasheed said so. Tariq Nasheed said so. No, if a person is a decent person and he's raising his family, right? He's minding his business, right? He's respectful, right? We can have a conversation on what we're concerned with. A lot of Africans are concerned about crime in the black community and stuff like that, like we all are. We all have our fair share of crime. The Africans are concerned about the crime in their communities too. We can sit there and talk about the misset. Ain't nobody, everybody got room for criticism, right? But I want to distinguish myself from, we could all be one black family, but hey, look, let me tell my story. This is my story. What's happened is Black America, for the longest time, have given up on this story. Like this one stupid lady, clearly an African American lady, some light skinned lady in Harlem, right? She has some restaurant, right, which was selling soul food, but yet she gave the credit to her. She did her DNA and found out she was Yoruba, I guess. My Yoruba ancestors, your Yoruba ancestors didn't fucking bring our cuisine. Our cuisine in America is distinct from African cuisine. There's a lot of stuff in Liberia is similar to Black America. That's what we brought over there. But our food in America, frying, didn't come from Africa. Frying, we got that from England, right? Baking, we got that from England. A lot of our foods and stuff like that we eat, that we sort of, but stuff was basically uh, 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 brought from England and Ireland and stuff like that, and we brought some things from Africa. It's a fusion of cultures. So when we talk about soul food and whatnot, because soul food has so many origins, not just African, it's also European, some Native American. Cornbread comes from Native Americans, so we so what we will do is people hate being black Americans so much, you're right. Oh, I'm like, this is Yoruba. No, the fuck it's not. I'm never gonna say what I'm doing is something that's not. I'm not gonna take credit away from what my people built here because they did this on their own. Jazz was created on our own. Jazz didn't come from Africa. You know, rock and roll didn't come from Africa. Do our music derives from Africa? Yeah, but what we created here in America is uniquely ours. That's a distinction. You understand? So it is. Look, look, there is some African origin in soul food. Okra, is African. You know, there's something people lima beans is from Africa. Tandra, we brought lima beans, not lima beans. Um, what was it? Black eyed peas. Black eyed peas comes from Africa. You know, and black eyed peas is important in African American cultures, unique to African American culture, because on what we call Watch Night is an African American holiday, and they practice Watch Night. Frying, deep frying food, fried chicken, and stuff like that did not come from Africa. We learned that here in America. Fried chicken we got from the white people. You know, Black eyed peas was created, brought here by Africans that survived the transatlantic slave trade. And black eyed peas is normally cooked with neck bones, stuff like that. And that was something we brought from Africa. Sandra, you can talk all you want, you stupid FBA troll fool. That's the truth. People don't like hearing the truth. Black eyed peas was brought from Africa here, you know? So black eyed peas was used during the watch night. Watch night, when I was a kid, we used to do watch night at church, right? It was done on New Year's Eve. We sit there and sit in the dark and with nothing but candles. You go to church and you got to have a candle for like 3 hours, right? And that candle can't go out. That candle has to burn until the New Year comes in. Then you can blow it out. At the same time, we eat black eyed peas and cornbread. That was watch night. Why we did it, we don't know. They say it goes back to the Revolutionary War where escaped slaves, stuff like that. I never had greens on watch night. All I remember is black eyed peas and cornbread. That's all I know. So look at the tangent from no damn Africans. This is what I'm talking about. Delineators, right? I'm willing to say that the African American has a distinct culture, you know, but that derives from Africa, but it was transformed into something new on this land. When people go, we ain't come from Africa. No, I mean, you sound like a fool. Where'd the banjo come from? Where did the canoe come from? Canoe is an African word. Banana is an African word. Jambalaya is an African word. You go down to Charleston, South Carolina, they still got African weaving and basket making and straw making that they was brought from Africa. The Gullah Geechee people still retain most of the African culture. All the stuff like weaving and stuff like that, it's unbelievable. That survived a thing like that. We don't use a banjo. Okay. I don't know what culture used, but Black America used the banjo. That's what the juke joints and the first guitar came from. So we're talking about the delineators, the delusional delineators, right? They want to delineate from anything good. I don't want to delineate from anything good. If you're civilized, decent people, right? You're black. I want to have a relationship with you. Now, if you're a person coming from the gutters of West Africa and you're one of these ghetto ass hoods, I put the tribalists in Africa, the savage tribalists in Africa, and the ghetto hood rat people in the same category. I want nothing to do with them. I want to delineate from them. But decent black people from Africa, the Caribbean, and Black America, that's who I want to build with. That's who I want to be with. You know? So what you call so now Sandra and all her infinite knowledge, even though everyone knows what the Gullah Geechee is, right? Everybody knows that, but has this troll in my chat room. Now she wants to change history. Oh, there's no Gullah Geechee. That lady's lying and whatnot. She's not no Gullah Geechee and whatnot. Oh, they don't have the African American vernacular and stuff like that, you know. And so the Gullah Geechees don't fucking exist no more, you know. You know. Oh Lord, man, these people are freaking stupid, you know. The worst people in the world are the FBA, you know. No, well, look, I know a lot of people here at DK that are not tribalists. In Liberia, a lot of people that are not tribalists, you know. Tribalism only happens, right, when you feel like you have something to gain. It's called illegitimize, you know, like Kidola. The only reason why they talk about their tribe because they think it's going to give them advantage. They don't take our tribe when it comes on. They'll have their, look, check this out. They're what you call these same people will look at their same tribe living in poverty and filth and disease and say walk right over them and say nothing. So miss me on that tribal bullshit. You know, you got an Oba or king or chief living high off the hall on the government dime and everything else. And which we call so these people will sit there and oh look, folks, I got an echo somewhere. Oh, oh, that was my my chat room. They're freaking going off. I forgot to turn them off. so so it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah. So tribalism and stuff like that is only when people have advantage. They got land coming to them, like Amara, right? He's in line to become a chief. You think if he wasn't in line, he'd care about his so-called tribe, the Temate? No, he wouldn't. That's why I say it's bullshit, you know? And so therefore, like I said, I distinguish myself. Even though I'm in Liberia right now, I'm in Africa, I know that I am an American. I'm African American. I am not a Liberian, you know? And I let people know it all the time. I know the arguments, I know the culture, I love it here and everything like that, but I never forget who the hell I am, you know? So therefore a distinguisher. I talk about distinction, not delineation. Because if I want to delineate comes from the standpoint of hatred, you know, where I want to delineate from that person and whatnot. You know, I want to delineate from. Anybody, we're stronger as a black race. We're stronger when we're together. We're stronger together as a race. Right now we got the last thing we need is more division. You got people moving in on the African continent, which is the base. You know, what are separating facts from fiction? I'm Tandria, Miss Williams. You never read a book in your life. You obviously never read a book. I guarantee you don't have a library card. You know, you have never typed one intelligent thing in this chat room. So as I said, yeah, the African continent is our base. Now, if you don't believe in white supremacy and stuff like that, hey, that's fine. You know, if you want to be up under white people in America and you don't think anything, that's fine. That's just, everybody has his own path. But I don't. I don't. I'm not. I personally, as a man, I'm not going to sit back and let these people roll over this continent. My ancestral homeland without a fight. That's not going to happen. So miss me with that shit. You know. Well, I never said it's the FBA's fault, FBA Africa's especially. The bottom line is this, but the whole thing is this: why the hell do we send signals out there? It used to be a time, DK, if you did something to fucking Africa, we'd be in the streets in America. We burn this shit down. Now you got these delineators and these FBA people have telling us it's okay to hate fucking our ancestral homeland. Now, me personally, I'm like this. Everybody knows I check Africans all the time. I believe in FTA, foot to ass. I put my foot up the ass all the time because I love them. I love them. Because the bottom line, I know they could do right. I know people like Tandria thinks that, the white man is going to be her savior right now. If I have to choose, you people got to make a choice. Are you going to be with the black world or the white world? Tariq wants to be with the white world. That's why he lives in the neighborhood he does. He's married to a white woman. He got white in-laws and family and everything like that. And he uses you fools to fund his projects while he lives high off the hog. You know, that's what the FBA is. You said raggedy ass fucking that damn lounge they call a museum. It's a joke. And the bottom line is this: have you ever seen videos? Have anybody ever seen videos or images of an FBA doing something? Have you ever seen them in a rally or in the community doing a blood drive or charity drive or anything? Do the FBAs even have a bowling club? No. These are just people that's online. Just all they do is go online. I'm not African. I'm not African. I'm not African. We don't care what you think. Majority of us consider ourselves Africans. Y'all can try all you want. That's what they do. They flood the internet with all this. I'm not African. I'm copper colored American. Blah blah blah. And the bottom line is this: it hasn't moved the needle one friggin' bit. When people talk about Black America, they still say African Americans. We have an Afram Fest in what is it? August. I'm going to be in Baltimore. Afram Fest is the biggest festival, Black festival on the East Coast. Afram Fest has been around since the 80s, right? It's called the African American Festival. Now, I don't know anything about an FBA festival, I don't know about an FBA festival. I never heard of a ADOS festival. I know about the Emoja festivals. I know about the African American Day Parade in Harlem. I know about Afram Fest. Well, DK, I'm not saying anything about Pan Africanism. I'm talking about Black African identity. Miss me with the Pan African stuff. I never said we have to do Pan Africanism. I'm talking about Black America. We've always identified with our African heritage. Now, Pan Africanism, as far as like Pan Africanism, is a Western concept. Black people in America are Westerners. So the idea of race as an identity, nationalism, and race is something alien to Africa. That's why Pan Africanism hasn't worked on the continent, but they don't have a racial identity. That's not part of their psyche. We thought that we could just bring Pan Africa. It's so obvious to us, man. We're black, but when you see in Africa, they don't really see color and race the way we do in America. Well, I don't know what you're talking about. Africa is my heritage. I'm proud of it. You know, this continent is my heritage. So I don't know what kind of heritage you're talking about. What are you, a Native American, Tandria? Look, I got a question for the Tandrias of the world. I got a question. Right? Now, she was already here in America, and that she didn't come here to transatlantic slave trade. So you ask how in the world did she end up on a cotton field? She's out there on the cotton. The master said, "Hey, Big Mama, Chandria Williams, make me up some hog mogs or something like that." Yo, yeah, you loaded, master. And so she could sling a 200-pound cotton in the daytime, get in them, cook master's meal and whatnot. Avoid the whip, whatnot, take care of master's children, all in one single bound. Now, 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 how did Tandria, if she in America, how did she end up on the master's plantation? Oh, I got it. The master came off the ship and said, "Man, I see all you indigenous people, but you dark indigenous people, man, with the nappy head, and the big hips and everything, y'all getting on that field and picking cotton. You red ones with the straight hair and everything, y'all can go on the reservation over there. We ain't gonna mess with y'all." Is that what happened? Is that what happened, Tandria? Your ancestors were picked out of the crowd, so they put a chain on your ancestors' neck and dragged you on the field. But you were already here in America. White man came off the boat and said, "Uh-uh, all you black indigenous with the nappy head and the fro, y'all getting on the field and y'all gonna pick cotton." And how did the red man? How did he also own you if you were indigenous to this country too? You guys make no fucking sense whatsoever. Tandria, you come from Africa. You're an African woman. You know. No, look, no, look. I'm not trying to make fun. I'm saying how silly you sound. You were saying that you were not a slave. You didn't come here on a slave ship. You didn't come from Africa, right? So I want to know, how'd you get here? And then if you're here, how did you end up on a plantation? I mean, what did the white man say? He said, "Get your y'all blacky indigenous aboriginals," and you probably have that. I'm a copper colored man. I was like, "You ain't no damn copper colored. You black as ace of spades, boy. You ain't no copper colored." You know, but it just like I said, they call me the ringmaster. Why? Because I have a circus of deadly clowns. And the more Tandria listens, the more she's going to be enlightened. How did Tandria end up on a plantation? How she end up there with in one of them mammy skirts and whatnot? Lord and Lord, with the handkerchief on her head and whatnot, looking like Hattie McDaniel and whatnot, like Gone with the Wind. That's you, Tandria. You were Hattie McDaniel. You know, you were Esther Roll. You know, you were Harriet Tubman. You know, that's your legacy. How'd you end up in that situation? Why was there a need for Harriet Tubman? You know, The only people that had a chain on their neck was the black people. You know, so it is because we're not unifying. No, I think Africans. I think you guys are Muslim. I'm looking at these Africans. They shower. They take baths every day. They're really clean over here. They tell me I don't shower enough over here. They shower like 3 times a day. But I can go back to America, man. I'm just saying. Now Tendria, she probably is out there in public with her bonnet on. She probably goes to IHOP in the morning to eat breakfast with her bonnet on, her bathrobe, her pajamas, and her slippers and whatnot. Cuss out the waitress and everything like that. I mean, I don't know. I want to delineate from these type of people. The ghetto ratchet people. And I notice. Look, I notice every time I listen to these FBA people on TikTok or not, I could tell they're all ghetto ass people. They're all fucking ghetto, and they have a way. And what I hate is posers. Ghetto ass black people have a way of trying to look like they're one of us, like they're educated. They try to act like they just came off some executive job. We know you were working at fucking Walmart part time. We know you on welfare. We know you're collecting child support, and you motherfuckers ain't got shit, whatnot, besides Section 8 and government cheese. Like that poor righteous chick, she living off the government and everything like that. We know who you are, you know. We know around who you are. You guys don't believe in science. You don't believe in anything like that. You don't believe in science. You don't put any effort into learning anything. You don't know history. People actually will listen to someone like Dane Calloway and take that as real history. Man, I read somewhere that slavery was a lie. There's no slave ships. Okay, how did black people get here? We were already here. Prove that the slavery happened. Yeah, one fool up there talk about there's no way we were picking this for a living, cotton. Yeah, man, if you keep talking, man, the white man might put you back on that damn fucking field. You look like you belong there. He's sitting there picking cotton, talking about, can you imagine us doing this one that day? No damn way we're not. Nigga, you look like you belong there. You know? So it's just, like I said, they call me the ringmaster because I deal with a circus of deadly clowns. The delineators, FBA delineators, are a bunch of deadly clowns. And I'm going to keep clowning them as long as I got breath in my body. I'm going to keep calling them what a bunch of fools they are, you know? And what I do is this. I'll take their legitimate arguments and put it under the distinguishers thing. Because I go, black people are yearning for, black America is learning for an identity. And they do want to be distinct, a group of people. I get that, you know? And I'm proud of that too. I'm a distinct group of people, you know? I'm not a damn Nigerian. I'm not a Ghanaian. I'm not a Liberian. I'm from Black America, right? And what I'm proud of is all the Black Americans that African Americans or Black Americans that achieve. Like, damn, when people try to put us down, like, well, damn, I'm in good company here. John Johnson, Ebony Magazine. Reginald Lewis, the world's first Black billionaire. Charles Jude, first open heart surgery. Benjamin Banneker, Lewis Lattimore. All these people come from my lineage. Stephen Hightower, Hightower Petroleum. I'm proud. So I basically will always be proud of my lineage. That's a distinction. That's not a delineation. Now, if somebody wants to come here and say, yeah, man, I like what y'all doing, Black America. I want to be part of what y'all doing. I'll welcome right in. My brother, Great African. He's from Nigeria. He's from Liberia. He's a mono king, whatnot, but he comes here and Callaway. You got no proof of that. Stop trying to steal our people. He's not a crewman. Cab Calloway. Oh, you talking about Cab Calloway or Dane Calloway? You know? Oh, y'all can keep him. You talking about Dane Calloway? You can keep him. You know? I mean, forget what I was talking about. Yeah, great African. That guy is my brother. That's an African king. When he comes to America, he understands that he's part of Black America now, no matter what. All my mono people from Liberia, all my people from Nimba County, when they come to America, they basically assimilate into Black American society. They send their kids to HBCUs. They're like, no, my kid's gonna go to historically Black university. They're gonna know Black history, because that's part of who they are. And I love that. I love that. Just like I didn't like the fact that there was some Black people talk about Black History Month just belongs to us. No, what the fuck it doesn't. Black history is Black history. Any Black person could take pride in what our ancestors did because we're part of the African family. There's a difference between a delineator and a distinguisher. Your delineators are dangerous. You know, we want Africans and Black people, Africans that come here on our side. People like Tandria, she's ignorant. She's an ignorant woman. That's why she won't ever call in. And I always put people up here. I always give people a chance. You could always come up here and plead your case. But people don't want to do that because they're scared. Look, the fact that people don't want to come up here and state their case knows that I know they're full of shit. They know they're full of shit. You know, and I'm not gonna let off of them one friggin' bit. You're gonna go to sleep tonight, and you're gonna be like, "Damn, man, I learned something in college." And you can resist it all you want, but you know that you hold the truth. You heard the truth. You know, that's the one thing about the truth is right. The truth is eternal. You know, all the lies you believe, the lies will come and go. The truth is going to stay solid. It's constant. Black people in America are Africans from the transatlantic slave trade. Period. All you are is an African with an American culture and American heritage. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. You ain't nothing special. See, that's the difference between a delineator and a distinguisher. You know, a delineator want to be like, oh, but they'll never talk about what that means, right? When I talk about distinguishers, I'm talking about let's celebrate Black excellence. You know, I don't want to be like this. I look at some of the things that came out of Black America I ain't proud of. I ain't proud of the Hoovers and the Vice Lords and the Hoovers and the Bloods and the Crips. I ain't proud of that shit. Although that does come from our culture, I ain't proud of that. I'm not claiming that. I'm distinguishing what is Black America, what's a decent Black American, and what's not. But the delineators don't care. I had one delineator be like, "Yo, man, the Africans are starting to look like us. They got their pants sagging down and blah blah blah. What the fuck do you care? You know, they use an N word and whatnot. They're trying to be like us. It's the dumbest fucking shit I heard in my life. Why do you care if someone's trying to use a damn N word? You don't have to. It ain't about being Pan Africanist. You're Black in this world. You know, I don't know about any, African cannibalism, bro. But I look at the savage culture in Black America, right? And I'm like, hey, I feel safer over here right now in Liberia than I do in Black America. I do. I like the way the women dress here and stuff like that. Are you proud of that naked base commandos? I'm like, what are you talking about? You talking about a war that happened like 25 years ago? Y'all still bringing that up? What about the wars happening in Chicago right now, in Detroit? And you know where I heard the worst place in America is for murder for black people? Birmingham, Alabama. Isn't that where Dr. King, Martin Luther King was from? Birmingham, that just showed you it was all bullshit. The fact that Birmingham, Alabama, the Atlanta, two strongholds of the civil rights movement, are where black people are doing the worst as far as murder and crime and everything. The black South is off the chain as far as crime, deep South. I heard places like Mississippi's off the chain as far as crime, the Delta area, you know. So what you call it? Hey, well, you know how many general butt nakeds you got running around Black America right now? You know, tell me how Black America lost Harlem. Go to Detroit, go to Boston. You got plenty of general butt nakeds all around the thing. Yeah, Memphis is off the friggin' what you call it? Memphis is off the fucking hook. St. Louis, Memphis, all these are fucking war zones. Here in Liberia, I've never in all the years I've been coming here, ever heard a gunshot. Yeah, all these places are off the chain. All these fucking stupid FBA people do is talk about something that happened like 30 years ago in Liberia. Well, yeah, we don't eat people over here in Africa either, you know? Well, hold up. You say a ruined African country. What do you call Memphis? What do you call Gary, Indiana? It's completely abandoned. Gary, Indiana. You saw the stadium focus, Dave? The friggin' stadium. I remember that's where Jesse Jackson had that rally one night. It's all graffitied up. The whole city has been abandoned. A completely failed city. Gary, Indiana is friggin' completely abandoned. Harrisburg, Indiana, abandoned. Cities destroyed. Detroit, destroyed. Youngstown, Ohio, destroyed. Dayton, destroyed. What are you talking about? Everywhere you look in Black America, for the most part, with a few exceptions here on the East Coast, is a freaking places freaking no, it wasn't about no damn migrants. That's another thing these so-called delineators do. They want to blame all the problems in Black America on migrants. No, these places were friggin' destroyed before the migrants got there. The migrants are what keeping them alive because the migrants will live in those same neighborhoods that you guys abandoned and ran down with crime and everything. They'll live in that same neighborhood and whatnot. They're so grateful to be having basics like running water that they make something out of it. And you guys get jealous. Look how the Senegalese have now taken over fucking Harlem. You know, yeah, stadium completely abandoned. Like that's a hallmark of Black America. Yet they always go around. Well, I want to delineate. I want to delineate. I want to delineate. What the fuck I want to delineate for? You know, I'd rather be around productive African immigrants than around some of you freaking ghetto ass fucking FBA people. I fucking hate you. You know, all you guys do is just ruin everything we do in Black America. You see all these freaking people. You can't even have Chuck E. Cheese. You know, all the next thing you know, oh man, Boquisha and fucking Ray Ray and all of them showed up at the same time. And then Swakisha's baby father showed up and woo, do I need to tell you the rest? You know, I don't hate being Black American. You know, I love being Black American. I hate niggas. I really do. And the FBA is full of nothing but niggas. The FBA thing is led by a super nigga, Tariq Nasheed. I hate niggas. Ain't nothing about being Black American. I'm embarrassed to be Black American sometimes. I don't tell nobody I'm Black American because the images of Black America put out there now, the way women look and act and whatnot. Well, I'm here in Liberia. I'm safe. I've never felt more safe in my fucking life. I can go outside right now and walk down the block. You know, tell them Dave about Duport Road. Nice, safe communities. All different types of little suburbs out here. We got a gated community here with secured in a compound, and I can go outside this area and nobody bother me. I can't go out anywhere in the Black community in America at nighttime. You go to a gas station, next thing you know, like I never went in America, right? Even in places like Virginia Beach, right? You're like sitting there, like, oh, mind your business, go to the gas station. You come home and whatnot, and you turn on the news. Well, there was a shootout. Damn, I was just fucking there. I could have got caught up in a fucking crossfire. You know, I am safe here. What you talk about? I come in every year, and I feel safe. I'm safe here. I can go out at night. I can go to clubs. I can go any place and get home safe. You know, Guinea's not gonna conquer Liberia. Shut up. That's supposed to be St. James. I'm a Moses. No, that's fucking that's that idiot Musa. That's Musa. They think he's fooling somebody. That's Musa. Yeah, like I said, I think a lot of these FBA dudes are fruity ass motherfuckers. And now they're gonna try to tell me, "Oh man, Collar, I know you from the Bahamas and whatnot. I know you from the Bahamas and whatnot. You you got to be a tether, man. He's a tether. That Collar's a tether or not. Sometimes I wish I was a damn fucking tether. To go away from you Negroes. Ain't nobody kissing up the Africans. But I know that we got bigger problems than Africans. We got bigger fucking problems than Africans in Black America. People like this, it's about, the old lines about Africans, right? And the bottom line, the only people who feel threatened by Africans are the mediocre Black people working for minimum wage. You know, the Black people who work for minimum wage, the low income Black people, the people ain't got nothing going on for their life, of course they feel threatened by Africans. This is how it usually works, right? In Black America. I know you ain't talking. Which leads me to one of my great stories. Now brace yourself, because I got a story to tell. Right? Where's my God? From my damn. Oh well. I was gonna do my sound effects, but can't find my boombox. Oh, they go. Man. Shit, what the hell here, man? Shit. Anyway, got a story to tell. I remember what year was this? My senior year in high school, right? There was one real hot Portuguese girl that liked me. She was Portuguese. She liked me though, I was like, okay. She's like, is it Portugal really friggin' Europe? So she's white. She goes, I'm not white. She was kind of dark complected. She's like, I'm Black. Anyway, she liked me, but this girl loved cracking jokes, you know. and to the point where she had a sense of humor. She loved cracking jokes on it, and that's, everybody was saying, "Oh, Maria does that because she likes you." Anyway, there was this one fat kid, right, named Chris, right, and this guy is always breathing. We sat at the same table. This is an art class. We sat at the same table, and this guy had the worst breath in the world. Man, he's always breathing hard, worst breath in the world. I was like, "Oh my God, man, it's a cloud." It's Big John. We just call him Big John. Big John's breath on that, right? So anyway, one day, Big John put some gum in my son. I said, "Man, ain't got help nothing, man. That breath, man, goddamn." So anyway, I was always putting the joke on Big John, oh, clowning him on that. He was the butt of the joke or not. And then Maria starts clowning me, right? Just as I look up in the corner, I see Big John chuckling and whatnot. I said, "I know you ain't laughing." I got up like, "You laughing at me?" So everybody else is laughing at her jokes. She's cracking jokes on me. I don't know what the hell it was about. I think it was the pants I had on, jacket, but something I had on. She was just cracking on me, man. Everybody's whole class busted up like laughing. She clowned me. So I tolerated that from everybody. But when I saw Big John over there giggling, cracking, I was like, "You laughing? I know you ain't got." See, that's how black people are with Africans. Black America, the FBA are the butt of the joke right now. And they accept being laughed at by whites, Hispanics, Asians, everybody else, Arabs. They don't say nothing, man. Hispanics openly say we don't like black people. White people have a field of black people, whatever like that. But when Africans get up and say, "Hey, why can't I get in on some of the fun?" And they start cracking jokes and laughing. Oh, how dare you? How dare you as an African? You should know your place. You are general but naked. You're a bush meat eater. You are a savage. You're this or not. You cannot take, look. You cannot take being clowned by Africans. You can accept being clowned like this Amo Moses, right? He can accept being clowned by white people. I bet white people probably throw him a banana and he probably gets on the ground, ooh, 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 and does gorilla sounds for a banana and whatnot. But the moment an African comes and just chuckles at something that you people do, you FBA people do, and y'all suddenly all hell breaks loose. How dare you? How dare you? Got the good my brother Brian Jehovah, man. He does shows every night trying to clown Africans, right? Just because they basically made some remarks about us, whatever like that. And I checked them, man. I could check Africans real good. But all fair is fair. We come out there like we got main character syndrome. We act there, we think we're all that. And Africans say, "Look, we don't think that highly of you, whatever." You're like, "I don't care how many, which you like, you are they look, this is what it is, folks. Black America. As long as you are a minority group in America, everybody feels like they're your superior because they came here voluntarily. You know, they came here on their own will. Your ancestors had no choice in coming here. They don't feel like you're an American like white people are. And you know that. So the whole idea of the FBA is to prove to everybody that you are American. And that's sad, man. That's sad. Before FBA came along, we were rejecting America. We were trying to move beyond America. We were talking about nationhood and building with Africa and stuff like Wakanda and everything. Yeah, you do care what other races think about you. You guys are always talking about, oh man, everything. Look, Africans have never done anything to you. It's what they think about you that's the problem. Then why do you have a problem with Africans, right? Has Africans burned down any of Black Americans' businesses? Have they assassinated anybody? Have they killed anybody? No. It's what you don't like, what they be saying about you. They giving you the honest opinion about you online. So you do care about what people think about you. Stop the nonsense. Stop the cap. No, I'm just saying, but like, it ain't about Wakanda. It was just like black people thinking about something beyond America. You know, man, we did have a Wakanda fantasy one time. Right? You know, what would it be like to have with the Africans ain't us, but Africans ain't trying to claim you, bro. You know, trust me. You know, they're willing to give you your walking papers. All he wanted, man, they're like somebody's trying to fucking force you to identify with Africa. Man, are you kidding me? You know, but it's been an hour into the show, and I'm letting people come on now. The links in the chat room. Step right up, step right up. Step right up, step right up. And get knocked right back the fuck down. Step right up, step right up. But the conflict in the diaspora, the delineators and the distinguishers, I don't mind having distinction, you know, but delineation, no. Because if we're going to delineate, you always delineate basically, you're basically saying someone is a problem. No, the only problem are the black people that's screwing up in Black America. Right now, you got all these kids running around uh, uh, doing meetups and tearing up the cities. You know, they're going in, say they meet up in the mall, they go rushing the mall, and they go doing all this kind of stuff like that. Black, white kids, whatnot. You know, the kids are out of control in America. You know, no, I've never seen a Liberian woman smoke a cigarette. No, I don't see people smoking here at all. Is that the truth? You know, Bibi Rodriguez, what is Africans eating off of you? Nothing. You know, not a damn thing. You know, Black Americans plates or or whatever. You know, the more I do the show, the more I expose how pathetic and stupid the FBA movement are. And like I said, they never disappoint. Every time they come in my chat room, you know, they never disappoint. They never disappoint. Now let's see what El Kuhn has to say. He probably come up here defending the FBA people. You know, he's a contrarian. What's on your mind?
Mama, Mama Lemons pound cake. Have you heard that
Oh
song by
yeah,
Afro Man, Colin?
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was hilarious.
Shout out to Afro Man. But well, we just got the news, man. R. Kelly just had an overdose in prison. You know, it's not looking too good. He's in the hospital.
Oh
But
well, it is well sad situation. That's his life, you know. Why? Hold up, Baruti goes, "You're not American." Why I brought him the other day? I said I'm an American. Why? What am I, Baruti? I have a U.S. passport. You know, my ancestors have been here for 400 years building this country. You know, my ancestors' family actually worked on the railways in the South, dug the ditches. You know, cleared the fields. You know, what are you talking about? You know, I'm as American as you can get. You know, so all right, what's on your mind? That was
I mean, it's a lot of stuff. Why you call me a corn? What did I do that made you call me a corn
you
again?
are cool, Elvis. You're
You just like
Elvis.
to start shit with me, Colin.
Until you come back to here, and I start seeing you driving a KK and making your way back to Grand Gita, and I'll go and call you to come.
Okay.
You know?
Colin,
Yeah.
you have a need to be there. I don't have a need to be there right now.
Well, look, you know, I'm saying that Liberia could use you, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I'll contribute in other ways.
Oh no, you need your black ass over here. Let me get Amara on. Amara, what's going on?
What's going on, man?
You heard what I said
Well,
about
you,
you earlier?
well, you, you're the man. That I gotta give you a props, man.
What happened? What did he say? I missed it. I just got on.
I always got 2 shots of tomorrow, you know.
Oh, you're
I
talking
heard
shit
you
about
that talk,
Amar?
man. Hey, Colin.
Yeah.
I got what I was like you were treating you, man.
Oh, it's beautiful, man. You know, okay.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm
It's
talking about.
I'm not having as much fun as I normally have because
Mm-hmm,
right now I'm in my own house and it's a lot to
mm-hmm,
this,
mm-hmm,
electricity issues, whatever like that. But when I was here before, I stayed in an Airbnb or a hotel. Much
mm-hmm.
different, you know, when you got a
Okay,
freaking or we use, just order room service or order out, whatever like that
okay,
every night. That when you got to cook meals every
okay,
day, and so it's a whole different. It's like I live here, you know. This is like it gives me a
okay.
taste of to live here, and it's
Mm-hmm,
challenging, you know. It's really challenging, you know. You could do it, but you would have to have a lot of residual income and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
because it's expensive living here, you know.
So you
Yeah.
getting a
It
lot of
is.
outages from
All,
LEC?
all, all that's planning, bro. All that's planning. You plan it
Playing
right.
nothing, man. Playing nothing. One thing you do need here is the first
Mm-hmm,
thing you need is your own vehicle. That's I would tell somebody never move to Africa without your own vehicle. You
mm-hmm.
know,
That's true. Yep.
yeah. If you got your own
Yeah, you need your
vehicle,
own vehicle.
if you got your
You
own
need your own
vehicle,
car. Yep.
life is easy. It's easy. It's okay.
Yep. Yep. From point A to point B. That's true. That's the number one thing you need to get around for your own freedom. You can just get up and go.
Yeah, for me, I gotta
But
pay every time. I gotta pay somebody every
yeah,
time.
you gotta pay somebody to be there. Yeah, that's annoying. Even when I go, when I first started going back to Sierra Leone, before I built my own thing, I hated that. When I stayed, even my mom was like, okay, now tell the driver to do this. I was like, man, I'm gonna buy my vehicle and bring it and put it down here. I don't want nobody to touch it till the end till I come back. When I come back every year, I have a vehicle right there ready to go. Man, it's
Yeah,
important.
you need that.
It's really important.
Yeah, you need that. You need that. You need a vehicle and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So, and also this time because I'm not in a hotel, I'm in a neighborhood. I don't see the
Okay.
people. I normally see a lot of people up here. I haven't seen
Yeah.
really a lot of people because I live so far out.
Oh,
Not far,
okay?
far out. So
Outside
I'm
of the
not like.
city.
Well, I'm in a suburb, and it's hard
Yeah.
to get.
Hmm.
It's not like it's not on the regular routes to the KK and stuff like that. So
Yeah, yeah.
usually people when I was staying at the hotel or even out at
Hmm.
the villa area too, people stop by all the time. Oh yeah, I'm coming by and whatnot. Because it's not too far from an area called Rehab and stuff like that. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I got 3 more weeks left, so I'm gonna do something before I leave.
Yeah. Well,
So it is.
if you had a access to a car, that's the beauty of it. You go, you get up and go into town, do what you got to do, then drive back. You see what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
nice that we're staying out of the suburb.
what
Mhm.
I want to do is I could rent a car, but I don't have an international driver. I didn't know that. Boy, Naya
Yeah,
told me
yeah, you got to have, yeah,
uh,
yep, yep,
international drivers like the AAA. I didn't know you can do that. And so you get that.
yeah,
If I had that before I came, I could have got a rental car here for like $25 a day. That would have been great.
yep,
That would have been
yep.
great. But I didn't do it. So I didn't
Man,
prepare that.
this is expensive. Just buy a car. Buy
Yeah,
like a $3,000, $4,000 car. You go over there like a Toyota.
yeah.
That you see,
Think about buying
that's
a
what I
car,
have over
a
there.
car. I
I
was
have a
gonna buy a
Toyota.
car from here,
Yeah,
shipping it
you
over
put
there.
because I do shipping. I do a lot of shipping back and forth. I buy like a container and put all my goods that I'm selling. That's what I'm saying. My my equipment I buy for the farming, all I load it up in a container. So I always like buy
Yeah,
parts when I'm over here. I buy parts in advance. Like everything I see around, I just buy part and then I stash it back there. So I have ready-made part. I just call one of them boys to fix my car, and then everything from mounting the motor to everything. I just buy parts and then stash it. That's why like Toyotas is easy to work
Which one?
on. Toyotas, Hondas, and stuff like that.
Hold on.
You got a lot of mechanics that know how to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, like
Yeah,
a
we got a lot of
Mercedes is
mechanics.
nice.
I wouldn't work with that.
Yeah, it's nice. But like the high end Mercedes, like sometimes the electronics, when you get to the electronics, the computerized thing, they get lost. Well, you still go find people, but it's not like regular like a Toyota, like a point A to point B car. That's my Toyota. Take me from point A to point B. There, all these mechanic shops out there, they know how to fix them. So I get around. Even I know how to fix. I change my spark plugs, my brakes, and all that. I know how to do all that. And then I buy my parts and stash them. Yeah, reliable, very reliable. So you can get up and go to town, hang out with people, then come back. But yeah, so. Well, it's in stages.
You say you got a new Mercedes. What kind of Mercedes you got?
I got my sister's Mercedes. She sold it to me. She has a freaking brand new one. She got 2020. So she sold me her. She has like 2 of them. She had 3,
That's
so
nice.
she sold me one. And it's nice. I can't wait to get back and drive it. So
nice.
so I ain't shipping that over here. I can't wait to get back to the States and drive that shit. It's just so fucking nice. See, my sister and her husband kept that car up so good. Oil change.
Is it an SUV or a sedan?
Sedan. 4-door.
Okay.
Nice. I don't believe in SUVs,
But you drive an SUV, Carla.
They got that. What?
Don't you say you drive
I don't drive SUV.
A Mitsubishi Mirage or whatever it's called?
My Mitsubishi is a 4-door. My Mitsubishi is a G Floor. It's a 4-door. And I got a Mercedes. So I got 2 cars. So, but yeah, so Colin, in terms of poly, what's okay, other ethnic groups, look, bottom line is this. My topic tonight is a distinguisher rather than a delineator. A delineator means that what they're saying is I can't have a conversation with Elvis or Amara because I got to delineate from them. That's the stupidest fucking thing I've heard in my life. Now, I distinguish myself from Amara and Elvis because that's right. I'm a distinct person, heritage. I have a unique history. Not unique, but it's just a different history, And I think everyone should be able to distinguish themselves from the next person, say, this is what I am. Delineation happens when you think that you are superior to somebody and you want to always let it be on. And what gets me is the delineators. They want to take credit for the FBA people. They want to take credit for all the wins in Black America, but they never want to talk about all the losses in Black America, like the crime rate in Black America, right? Where's the FBA? How come they're all silent on that thing that happened in Houston? That thing that happened in Daytona. Also, all these kids that are getting all over the country, kids like with these flash mobs that happen, mostly Black kids. They're not saying nothing about that. When's the last time the FBA's complained about the YNs that are just literally destroying Black communities? Literally destroying Black communities. These little 120-pound motherfuckers, right? Because they got guns in their hands, right? They're terrorizing the whole entire Black neighborhoods. We're too scared of like this. When the FBA is going to stand back and say, prove to me that they really mean that they're Americans like that. What's the sense of being American and you ain't got nothing to show for it? That's why I don't understand the delineators, right? I'm like this. Somebody comes from Africa, the Caribbean, whatever like that. If they're hardworking, decent people, and they acknowledge that their ancestors, we have a common ancestor and stuff like that, that's something I could build on. But when you're ghetto, you're stupid, you're ignorant, you're foolish, you're arrogant and everything, I can't get with you, and that's what a lot of the FBA people are about. They're freaking arrogant people, and and all they want to do is latch on to the success of Black America, right? Without putting any work into. When's the last time you see an FBA fund drive for anything? Never. Where's the FBA out there? You got the Black colleges, fraternities. who were doing work in the community. I used to work with them. I used to work with this group called the League of Extraordinary Men. How I met them years ago was I did an event for United Healthcare in this housing project, right? It was a housing project, Cary Park, real rough place, right? One client there, she said, "Oh yeah, 75-year-old woman got a bullet." You know, I told the story, bullet. I said I felt bad because she had lived like this at her old age. Anyway, the day we had the event, we had the truck out there, the DJ, and we was having a clothing drive. And we was toy driving a clothing drive for the people in the neighborhood. It was poor neighborhood, housing project, the poorest housing project in Norfolk. So we had a clothing drive and everything like that. So these guys, the League of Extraordinary Men, they're college graduates. They're different fraternities, but they have a group called the League of Extraordinary Men, and they do real work in the community all across the East Coast. They're really instrumental in building a relationship with the community. So when the one guy was sitting there, I'm sitting there with my ego, my shirt tied, like, who's this guy? Man, I think he is. I don't understand. I'm a fucking MGA, blah, blah, blah. And you know what this dude did? Made me feel so fucking bad. He just came up to me, right? Because we were looking at each other back and forth. Like, I'm looking him down. I thought he was looking at me down. He came up and stuck his hand out and said, "How you doing? My name is such and such. I'm with the League of Extraordinary Men. I like to tell you what we do." I felt like 2 inches tall because I was judging him, and this was a really good man.
You're mean mugging, ready, you know.
Said, I wasn't mean mugging, and I was just like, you know, black men do. He came up to me, stuck his hand out, shook my hand, and I felt like a piece of garbage, you know. I felt like a piece of freaking garbage right from that day on and whatnot. So I said to myself, okay, I'm gonna judge nobody by his color. I'm gonna always be the one, even to this day, that I'm gonna be the one that I'm not gonna let nobody get one up on me, you know? Because I felt like, I felt the whole time we were talking about different stuff in the community, I felt inferior the whole fucking rest of the day because he got one up on me because I was my pride, you know. So I never let that happen again. You know, when I meet people, I see people, I always introduce myself first. You know, that's how you take command of a situation. Rico Miller, I don't know what's going on. You got to do it. You have a bad connection, bro.
Oh, Rico Miller's up.
Rico Miller wants to come up. Rico. Well, he's trying to come up, but his Boost Mobile shit.
Oh man, Rico's coming up. That's dope. Who's the other guy on right now?
Which Kidola.
Okay, Kidola. Okay.
Rico's all tired, old black again.
They're trying to come up. That's dope. Let's hear Rico, man. He's been in the comment for a long time.
Rico, you got to drop down and come back in. Your thing is not coming on. Your thing is not coming on, Rico. You got to drop down.
Rico's in the U.S., right? He's not in another country.
Yeah. You got to drop down, Rico. You're not going
to. See, my thing is, you got so much to do in life. When you got a lot to do in life and accomplish in life, you don't even have time to be the successful black people I know. They don't even have time to talk about Africa or Africans or people coming over here taking jobs or what. They got so much going on. You gotta when you talk to them, you be
like I said. Well, I look, I know what it is, right? It's like black people in America, right? Some black people in America cannot stand the fact, right? Because black America really is stagnant, you know? The only thing we have really is our proximity to white America. That's what gives us an advantage and everything. What happens is they fear that black immigrants are breaching that, right? They're bypassing black American traditional institutions and stuff like that and going right straight to the source. I saw that years ago. What year was that? 14 years ago at my cousin's graduation at City College in the Bronx, right? Chuck Schumer was there. Governor David Patterson was there and stuff like that. And I saw back then, right, I said, when the graduation, my cousin was there and her friends, the majority of people of color, most of the people there were people of color. There were Dominicans and a lot of people in foreign countries. You know, I seen so many foreign flags out there. there was a lot of Africans there. A lot of people. One girl from Ghana spoke. She was there and whatnot. A lot of Africans were there graduating and whatnot. And then it dawned on me. These people, some of them couldn't really speak that good English, but they're gonna graduate from that 2-year school. And like my cousin, she went and got her master's when I did both the twins, they're school teachers, they're in the ministry. All my cousins in New York are in education. My cousin Marquita is a superintendent. She was a school principal for like 6 years. Now she's a superintendent over schools in New York City. So the bottom line is this: you have a lot of people who are coming to America, porting over. They're going right into higher education, and then they're going right into middle America. And a lot of Black people think that they shouldn't do that. They should come up like we did, blah, 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 go through the same struggle and suffering and everything. It doesn't work like that. So they go in there, they get their 2-year degree, and I saw it, right? And they're going into circles in New York where they're around different races and stuff like that. So they're not socialized around a lot of Black people. So naturally, they're probably like, who are you to be that we got to balance? Black America didn't get to know. Most of us are still working class people and stuff like that. Some of us get education, higher education, but immigrants are coming here for that purpose. They're not coming here trying to get civil service jobs or shit like that we traditionally do. They either open in businesses or going through higher education. That's causing a lot of resentment in Black America. That these people do not have to kiss up to Black people in America. That's what I see. And so therefore, when people make comments, it's like, damn, look, everybody and his uncle says stuff about Black America. Some true, some not true. But when it comes to Africans, it's like, how dare you say anything? How dare you have an opinion? How dare you? That's just the whole idea of this. You're an African. You're not allowed to say anything about Black America. No constructive criticism, because they'll say, "Oh, look at your country. Look at your country. Why your country does shit?" That's besides the point. We're here in America, and they're saying, "How was I able to come here?" Right? But then again, there's reasons why you're able to come in and do that, right? But the thing is, though, Black America, we never really went for the education route for the most part. We're mostly blue collar people. We got those good jobs. We do hold down the civil service in the service sector of America. That's what we do: civil service, blue collar, factory work, and stuff like that. That's how we always made most of our wealth in America, our trade skills and whatnot. When immigrants come over here, they come over here with more education, right? And they're going to go move into that. They're not moving into they may stay a little time in the city. They get a negative impression of Black people. And then when they get that 2-year degree, and when they get a good job, they're off in the suburbs. And that's where the tension is coming from. But Africans have a negative perception of Black America because of the experience of what they were going through. That's what I see, and that's
to me, Kyla,
Black people in America, like,
Kyla, the other thing about it is,
go ahead.
African is on the go. The African really did not have time to stop and really take in, when I say study Black America, from the top corporate level to the bottom 10%. You got to be involved with them. But the African is on the go. When an African comes to America, you're on the clock. In 5 years, I should have had a degree, and I should have had a house. I should have had a job. I should have had this. I should have had da, all lined up. So they get tunnel vision. So they're on the go. You see what I'm saying? Particularly some like the Africans that come in here when they're young, they think they got time. But the ones that come in here in their 30s, they have all they've done graduated from college or wherever they are, or what school ever they went into Africa, never had, just sitting around, lounging around, not having a job and stuff like that. When they come to America and they see opportunity, they were like, damn, I'm 30 years old. I need boom, 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 boom. I need the next 20 years. I need to accomplish all the stuff. I was bullshitting in Africa after I graduated because there were no jobs. So now I'm 30 years old. Now I gotta go. I gotta get everything I need accomplished because I done lost time. So when they have that tunnel vision, they don't. It's not. There's not enough time to take to learn black people. They just got their goals set up in their minds, and they be like, I gotta get to the finish line. You see what I'm trying to say? So when they come in, boom, 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 the few interactions they have with black people, they carry that. As opposed to like, okay, so like me, out there, I was born here, that they were taken to Africa to get the culture, and then came here when I was 17. I had more time than they have. You see what I'm trying to say? I have more time to be around African men to see the differences between the higher achievers and the bottom 10%. But most of the Africans that come here, they come in their 30s, 35. They're gonna go. Man, I done lost all that. So after I graduated from school, I lost 15 years or 10 years bullshitting because there weren't no jobs in Africa. So when I come in here, I don't really have time. I gotta go, go, go. That's all they got in their mind. Go, 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 go. So that's where the hunger comes from. Damn, I gotta make up for lost time, bro. I gotta go. I gotta get it. You see what I'm trying to say? So
we don't have that hunger. We're desperate.
No, we all have that hunger, but what I'm trying to say is timing. Okay, some of those people, I'm telling you, like for example, one of my cousins. Okay, they didn't have the opportunity like I had to be born here or come back when I was young enough. He came here when he was like 34. But I never seen somebody motivated like that. Well, bro he had graduated out of school. He got his degree when he was like 24. He spent a whole 10 years bullshitting around. That dude came here when he was 34. Man, all that dude was doing this. All he had was trying to make up for lost time. I gotta make up for lost time, bro. I gotta get this degree. I gotta get this job. I gotta get here. I gotta get there. I gotta get a house. All the stuff I can't get. When I was in Africa after they graduated from high school.
Let me get Kidola on. Before I do that, let me read Bruce's comment. You criticize it, Kala. You were criticizing the FBA for being arrogant, but you are arrogant, elitist, and egotistical. No, I'm not elitist, egotistical. I'm just like this. Look, in every society, Rudy, we don't understand this, right? And I agree with this more and more. There's got to be what we call the gentry. You know the gentry are the elite. The people who do nothing but think, right? The culture think. I don't act on a rabid emotion. Usually the gentry are made up of people who are wealthy, aristocrats. When all they do is sit around and have these elite societies. They meet up for lunch, dinner, they play polo, whatever they played back in the days. That's how this country of America was founded, the gentry, right? Now, the gentry's job is to convince the masses, the laymen, in this new project called a nation. That's what I'm part of. I'm part of the gentry. Elitist means you're saying that I'm aloft for my people. Like I'm just, no, I'm trying to guide my people. I'm trying to guide my people to a better future. That's what we call gentry. Gentry means gentlemen, people who are role models, examples to your people, And so the bottom line, you look at American gentry, right? You should see what they thought about the masses of white Americans at the time. They were like, okay, these people, were just they thought white America was low, especially the ones coming off the ships, But they said we're gonna have a social contract where we want to get them to do this. We want to have them build families, build a life, boom, 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 and then we can have this civilization and society, Now, Amal says, I'm a self-hating black man, nothing more. See, when a black man tries to be part of the gentry and he wants to build and say we could do better and whatever like that, suddenly I'm self-hating. So what is the natural state of black man? Going out there gang banging, a pants sagging down, having 5 baby mamas and running around, stuff like that, I said, you ain't, yeah, I'm more than upper class. I ain't saying upper class, but I hang in those circles. Yeah, income wise, I am upper class, right? But I don't consider myself that. It's more of my thought process, the people who I associate with, so it is what it is. Not only all gentries are rich, but they're part of the elite social society. That's what we need. I never said, Amos, I want you to go to Liberia. I want you to keep some of you Negroes away from Liberia. I'll see you tonight. Sit outside, man. I'm like, outside when I Saturday night, and they're sitting there blasting. Why am I hearing fucking Akon, Tupac, fucking Snoop Dogg, and shit like that? I just don't want that culture over here so bad. They're banging all this Lil Wayne, all this shit like that. I'm like, damn. Why am I hearing Akon? I got locked up. Those kids listen to it. Like Liberian kids listen to that shit. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Liberia's not a big shithole. Liberia is a fucking beautiful country. We have a good administration. If they keep it like this, right? If they keep it like this, keep going, Liberia's on its way. The only thing that threatens these African countries is the political system and political process. You got juntas and you got people. Africa's the only place where democratically elected governments get overthrown. So it is what it is. Ammo moose, man. You hear this Elvis, they talking about your country like that, man. You gonna stand for that, Elvis?
Colin, your country too. Defend the motherland, Colin.
Oh no. I want Kidola. Should I let Adama up?
What did he do? What did Adama do before?
I don't know, because he's weird. He says weird shit. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let Adama up, man.
Let him up,
Fuck his time.
It's
How
weird.
long it takes for me to fucking kick him out, A weird dude.
Yeah, what's up, Scholar? But I'm gonna just say this, Scholar. I'm gonna let you know where I stand.
Hold on, you're not up. You're not up first.
And I'm serious.
You're not up first. I say Kidola.
Boy, hold on.
He said, "Hold on, Adam. Let Kadola go first."
Kidola's not
How about
talking.
Kadola is there? Kadola, you there?
Kala, thank you for allowing me your channel, Kala. You see, hey everybody, Kala, I don't talk about what's going on FBA movement. I will take you way back. The hatred against Africans this started now. Was already there since the late 60s already. I think we should not have a half story. We must have a full story. Tariq Rashid is the second generation of Black Americans. It's part of set of them that hate Africans. When the Africans started coming there, it's at least 60s to 70s, they were already laughing at them already. The way they dress, the way they behave. Africans were far more closer to the Latinos, especially the Mexicans at that time. So it's not about now when they start hitting Africans. It will always be like that. Only that Africans at that time, then there was nothing like internet. So what you see now with this internet age, because if you don't hate people, you cannot be enjoying it by eating cookies and drinking the tea on top of it. Or most Black American streamers now, they are millionaires how to hate Africans. Some who can even clean their ass are out there. Some who don't even have something when you look at them and think, God damn, what kind of school? Who teach you? You understand me? So we should, Africans and Black Americans are not the same. We are far, far, far apart. You understand me? Africans are coming, they least even coming to the United States. They're the Polish there. The Black Americans blaming now that the Arabs who have their own quarter now in Detroit. Are they blaming those people now? Those people have their own neighborhood in Detroit. The Arabs there, they control their own shit there. I think in the long run, Africans will have their own neighborhood one way or the other, so that this mess will not be going on. America is free for everybody. Polish are coming there. How about Elon Musk that left South Africa, that came to Africa, that came to United States? Is the other white people say, "Oh, you take our job"? The white man is the one renting people.
No, but yeah,
If
but
black Americans
you'd
are
be surprised, hold
if
on, the
if
Irish got
black
treated like
Americans
shit
are
here. Polish got treated.
if black Americans are renting apartments now to Africans, giving them job, then you would have a power over the Africans. But it's not the black Americans giving a job or renting houses for them. You see?
No, I
So
don't.
no,
Let me say this, Kiddo. Let me say this before you finish. I don't think that's it. I don't think Black America and Africans do this different types of jobs. Black America is mostly civil service, factory workers, construction. But Africans don't do that. Africans do their own thing. Here, they usually go into education. They usually go into professional work and stuff like that. It's not even a cross thing. I don't think it's people talk about taking jobs. It's not
culturally
like
we
that. America's a big
culturally
economy.
we're not culturally we're not the same at all. We're very, very far. We should not try to say, oh, we're the same. We're not the same at
But let me
all.
ask you.
We're
Let me
very,
ask
very
you.
far
Okay,
from
yeah,
each other.
good question. Hold on, get a question. Now, there's a lot of Black people who say Nigerian singer, what's his name, Shibushi, had no business being on stage with Black American people during the Oscars. What do you think about that?
Kala, people that invite you put look
Cynthia Erivo didn't be playing.
America. America
Yeah,
have
but
all kind of people there.
hold on. First of all, that thing was put on by the cast of Ryan Coogler's show, right? And he was up there and everything like that. But I think he should have recused himself because I think we are
Kala, don't
accepting, kiddo. We're
Kala,
accepting.
Kala, anybody can invite anybody. Kala, black. Look, that people, the people that
Yeah,
invite
no, okay, but yeah,
Shubuzi,
even though invites her,
you cannot reject.
he'll invite it. But do you think?
Kala,
Hold on. Do you think hold on? You just said we're two separate cultures. So why is it that Nigerians, when they come here, they want to be in our spaces, our schools, play our roles on movies and stuff like that if they want to be separate?
Kala, how about black Americans playing whatever playing Mandela? How about black Americans playing to be pretending to be
Yeah,
Africans
but they
coming to
never.
America?
Yeah, but we're talking about
So what is that?
we're talking about
You know,
South Africa.
Forrest Whitaker play Idi Amin, Kala.
yes. So what is that? You
Yeah,
only
yeah,
have the
but
right
there was
to
no.
fight for people.
Hold on. There was never any beef between South Africans and Black America. We were always in solidarity. There was never any beef between Ugandans and Black America. There is problems between Nigerians and Black Americans.
You hit everybody, Kala,
That's
not
it.
just Nigeria. Forget about it. You hit Ugandans, you laugh at
Kala,
their
Black
accent.
Americans have more Nigerian DNA than South African DNA.
How do we hate Ugandans? We don't know any Ugandans. I don't know any. You know,
So you
we
hit
don't know
everybody.
any. You know?
What I try to
How
say,
you
Kala,
how
is
you
this.
how you gonna make a
Kala,
blanket statement? Most of the problems that Black Americans,
Look. Even you
99%
hit
of
Kenya.
them, 99% of the problems with Nigerians. That's what it's saying. It's not
It's not about Nigeria. Even the Ghanaians, they invite you people, you also hate them also. It's Ghana that caused the problem, Kala.
there's so many Black Americans in Ghana right now
But you
that
hate
these
them.
people are trying to hijack. Hold up, these people are trying to hijack Michael B. Jordan from us. That's like, damn, there's a distinction. Michael B. Jordan is a Black African American.
Michael B. Jordan is Ghanaian, Kala. Don't call him an African American. He belongs to Ghana.
Check this out. Hold up. So therefore, this is what I'm talking about, right? This is why I say it's a sad situation where Africans, instead of them being distinguished themselves, saying blah blah blah, they got to come. They got people out there really who believe that Michael B. Jordan's father is a Ghanaian. He was visiting from Ghana, year return, and then it's hijacked the guy. It's like, goddamn, you can't have nothing. This is what we're talking about.
Hey, Kala.
Who's cackling like a wild dog? Is that a Dama?
I laughed at that when I seen that story. I didn't even listen to none of the videos. I just see the headline, and I bust out laughing so hard, bro. I don't even know where the story started, how he started, but just the fact that would you say Michael B. Jordan is Ghanaian? Don't say stuff like that, bro. Okay, you
He
can say
is,
some
bro.
people
He
are.
is.
You know what it
He's
was?
Ghanaian, bro.
All
He's
he
Ghanaian.
had was
No. Don't do that. Don't do that, bro.
he said,
Don't
yo,
do
he
that.
said,
Everyone is Ghanaian. Well, in
he
Africa,
said,
listen. In
he
Africa, we
said,
tell people you're American. Once
hold up,
you're born in
Mara,
America and you grew up here, you're American.
Mara,
Uh,
let me talk, bro. Let me talk.
okay, go ahead.
If somebody in calling me an FBA, this is not an FBA channel. This is
No,
FBAs are delineators. I'm a
my
distinguisher.
bad, Kyla.
Yeah, I'm a
My
distinguisher.
bad, Kyla. You
I
have the
am not.
floor. Go ahead.
I'm gonna put it like this: Michael B. Jordan is a product of Black America. He's Black to his parents, and then everything goes back to Black America. That's a distinction, you know.
His daddy traveled to Ghana one time and makes him Ghanaian.
Just like somebody saying, "Paula, you're in Liberia. You're a Liberian now." No, I'm not a freaking Liberian. I am Black American. You know, simple as that. I'm not a Liberian. I was not born here. You know, just so freaking annoying, man. It's like, geez, you know, and that's what gives these FBA people all this ammunition. You know, this FBA ammunition.
The Ghana people learn for a few Black American there, Kala. The Ghanaians learned how to hijack other people's achievements from Black American success. You know what I mean? So I don't see
You gotta move, man. That laugh is diabolical, man. You gotta
I'm
mute.
not the one laughing. It's this other dude.
Amar. This Amar laughing.
Amar, you
Amar is
gotta
the one
mute that,
laughing.
man.
No, I mean, the thing is funny. We have all these Ghanaian celebrities. We have all these African superstars. We have all these other people. Why don't you claim up to them? Why are you leaning to African American? He's an African American. It's not Ghanaian.
Yeah, that was crazy, man. They trying to
Check this out. Let me say this. Well, let me say it. Hold on. Let me get Adama on. I said you can talk next. Let me get Adama on, then we get DK. Adama, you got 2 minutes. Go ahead.
All right, I'll say this, Kala, and I'm gonna address a couple things. I'm gonna address you, Kala. I'm gonna address Elvis as well. But I'll say this is that you need to get this Afrostat thing like off the ground as quickly as you can, because if you see in the news, you had a U.S. Navy captain who was a captain of a warship who refused a boat strike, because he felt that the orders were illegal, and this was a black captain. This was a black U.S. Navy captain, and so you at the point now where even black Americans in the military are refusing like orders. Okay, it's getting to that point to where we no longer align even like with the ethos of this society, so something's gonna have to give. And like I told you, yes, I'm a black conservative, but at the end of the day, I'm a side with my people. I'm gonna go with my people at the end of the day. And if my people go to Liberia, I'm gonna go with them. And the thing is, Kala, all right, if you don't, so you got to take these young guys like me serious. Okay, we're serious about this entrepreneurialism. We're serious about building. Okay, I'm a truck driver, Kala. I make 120,000 driving this truck, and I don't even own the truck, but I gross 100. I make 120,000 a year. Okay, with that money, I can go to Africa and do major damage, like major. If you don't get this, I've been waiting for years for you to do this Afghanistan thing, Kala. But if you don't do this, you gonna mess around and have young guys that are younger than you, like me. We gonna go over there and we gonna get it popping. And then we gonna be like, hey, yo, Kala said he was gonna do this for years, but he never did it. You know what I mean? And that's a situation that you might run into. And the thing is this, but I'm not done. Let me land. And the thing is this, Kala, if you look at Umar Johnson, right? Okay. Umar Johnson, I've been saying for 15 years he was going to build a school. King Randall, who was way younger, about 15 years younger than Umar Johnson, came and got a school in less than 2 years. Now you got to think about that, Kala. You know, don't let young guys like me. I'm telling you, I'm not in Africa right now, but when I get to Africa, I'm gonna be doing my thing. I'm gonna be entrepreneurial. I might even have me some sexy ass like Kenyan wife or something like that. You know.
That's why Tyler said you're
But
weird. You're going down the rabbit
the
hole.
thing is, when I get to Africa, I'm not gonna be
Only
playing
mind,
around. And it's not just me; it's a bunch of these other young guys up here.
I hate it, bro.
And what it is you've been up here for years, Carl. You say you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. You say you want to have an army, okay, but I ain't never seen you shoot no gun. I ain't never seen you at the range, Carla. I'm not seeing you working out.
Amara,
You know what I mean?
Amara. All right, hold up. We got your point. All right, I got to move on. Duly noted.
Okay, and then as far as Elvis, the thing about you, Elvis, is that where I agree with Kyle is that there's a part of Africans like you, Elvis, that is pathetic because y'all come to America, but y'all don't want nothing to do with your home country. You don't want to be bothered with it. You don't want to build there. You just want to be in America and say that you're a Christian, and that's it. And that's your existence. Hey, I mean, you have a right to live like that, but those of us that want to build in Africa will never 100% really respect people like you because you didn't want to really build in Africa. You know?
Hold on. You came with the smoke tonight. We appreciate it. Let me get somebody else on. DK.
Kala, I swear to God, if I like president of Africa, all these single mothers, all these ugly black American women coming to Africa to meet some of these African young guys, I would deport all of them back to the United States. You know,
the thing is, you have no power, so you can't do anything.
I swear to God, man. I swear to God,
no power.
These ugly black American women, we don't know where they're coming from, coming to meet our young guys.
Hey, black American women are ugly, man. I had plenty of them in my time. They're not ugly.
Where they were hot. Where did they do?
They're not ugly.
Oh, you see, color. You let Kidola.
No, I ain't late, man. I would deport
1776.
Ugly ass.
Kidola. I mean, he's a comical, but I try to be nice, but go ahead, DK.
Makes FBA talking points. He's an FBA advocate in a strange way. Because he's fuel for their movement, unfortunately.
Yeah. And this guy Jeffrey, okay. This guy Jeffrey, okay, is obviously a Afro dumbass disciple. He's a nice one, Kidola. So any slight at Black America has the most prettiest women in the world. Everybody knows that, So if you that goes to Africa with America, really fine black women ain't going to Africa. You have to worry about that shit. They got their pick of dudes in America. That's where the money's at. They ain't trying to go to Africa. Worry about that shit.
Like fine black women are going to like France or like Dubai or places like that.
Oh yeah, they're going to places like that, man. They're going to the fucking the Seychelles
or south of France or someplace like that.
They go to Cancun. My little cousins, they go to Cancun. Their little girl trips and whatnot. They ain't going to Africa, bro. Passport grannies. Those are those big mamas, passport grannies. That's the type the Kidola gets.
When I go to the airport in Lagos, you see nothing but big women, big fat white women.
You know what you said. I saw this one thing.
I never seen no dimes.
You know what? Funny thing. I got to find this video. Right, this big girl, right, was brought in by a Nigerian, right, and she. It was so fucking funny. She was like, "You ain't got no food." She goes, "I was almost starving on the plane. They gave me some little ass food on the plane. I'm hungry. I told you."
So was it that woman that say you don't got no snacks in Ghana? Was it that?
No,
one?
this was another chick. This is another. That's a K and Kel. This was another older lady. This is an older lady. She had her boyfriend, whatever, like that. She flew out to see him, and he didn't have no food ready. She goes, "You got any food in the house?" No. I'm like, God damn, this dude. She was like, "Man, you can't at least provide me a dinner and real food or whatnot." I was on that long ass flight or whatnot. Oh, that shit was hilarious, man. But that's what you get going to Africa, man. You know, he ain't getting the top of the line. Fucking women, black women from America, you know, he
Unless
ain't
you
going
got
to
money,
Africa, bro.
unless you're in America, unless you're already here in America and you got money and you're doing good things, then you in play. But not if you're
Man, I
in
don't see.
Africa.
I don't see. I was the type of black women that go to West Africa. Now, South Africa gets some fine ass black women, you know, because that's a different lifestyle. South Africa, man, holy jeez, you do get some fine sisters that go to South Africa.
They got some fine sisters in South Africa. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
They
and the
got some
black
good.
women from America be fine that go over there one night. They be like, whoa, like that, you know. But you know, for the most part, West Africa, Ghana, ugh, you know, these females like, ugh. When
For the
African dudes
most
love
part,
them though.
they're not trying to go to Africa as a whole. Maybe like to Egypt, see a pyramid, but
Oh yeah. There's
most
one
people
couple of chicks that be going to Egypt. They be going to Egypt and seeing pyramids and
or
stuff
like
like that. You know,
Morocco or something like that, like
yeah, they go to
Morocco.
Morocco, Egypt, and places like that. But it ain't.
The one that coming to West Africans, they're dumpsters, that they have mental problem. You know, who the span with date years? You know, they have other problem, and some of them have 7 children or 5 children coming to Africa as their last
Abdullah,
place to
Abdullah,
find a man. You know,
ugly women need love too. Crazy
no,
women
no, no,
need
no,
love
no,
too.
no, no,
All
no,
kinds
no.
of women need love, and they
When
can
they were
find their
early
love in
20s,
Africa.
no, when they were early 20s, why were they in Africa? Now nobody want them. They be sitting on the couch
Yeah,
for
but
more
there's
than
a lot of
15
white
years.
Yeah,
women. Hold on, kid, hold
lonely
on. There's a
lonely
lot of
women need love too.
You
yeah,
know, for more than
there's
15
more white
years.
women. There's a lot of white women that go to Africa. You see them hugging up with African boys and whatnot. Well, like 18-year-old African boys with like 50, 60-year-old fat white women and whatnot. It's all over the continent, man. You know, but you don't see it in Liberia.
But we don't want this fake ones
Relationships,
that start fake ones
relationships are
start
give
coming.
and take, right? It's
No,
always transactional. A guy,
look at super.
a poor, handsome guy fit in Africa, he has his looks and his youth to offer to the woman, right? And the woman probably has an American citizenship or a green card to offer to him. So it's transactional. So they both want
Mostly
what
women
each other
coming from
have.
Europe. They be coming from Europe. They
I,
be
I
coming from
would I would
Europe.
make a law. I would make a law. I would make a law. If you want kind, don't come. You just stay in America.
Condola, it
If
happened
you
even amongst us Africans. An old, pot belly
Yeah,
African guy who
bingo,
got a little money go to
immaculate.
Africa and try to get a smoking hot 25-year-old girl, marry her, and bring her back. You
Like
know,
what's the
African
guy?
men do the same thing.
if TV be your boyfriend for 10 years, you never have no man. Don't come to Africa because look at Ghana now. Ghana has been polluted with this ugly ass Black American women.
Condola, stop saying
You
that,
know,
man. What do you want Ghana to be polluted with? The finest women?
running around. Calling my husband, boyfriend, all kind of shit. And why do you need these people? Five baby daddies, 3 kids.
Well, these
Then you
people
Yeah,
are
they
see
putting a
need
lot.
them because they're a gateway to the United
These
States.
people
That's
are putting a
why.
lot
It's a
of money
trade-off.
into Ghana. Hold on. Hey, check this out. Right now, Ghana has a kinship program. They're going around America, and they're actually recruiting Black people in America to come to Ghana, do DNA tests in different cities and whatnot. They're trying to boost their population of Black Americans in Ghana. I don't know, Kidola. You're fighting a losing battle, bro. It's about the money, bro.
I'll think so, man.
Yeah, they just want the money, man.
They want the money. That's all. And Black America got it.
Yeah, that's why I don't like Ghana. What Ghana did was bad. You invited people, but you want to take their money. And also, why are you doing that? Why don't you say,
Well,
okay,
it's like
come on?
this. Hold on. This is what they're trying to do. This is what they're trying to do. Now, if I was in charge in Africa, I've had an African people always ask me, look, I would basically, since I do insurance or if I write plans, whatnot, I would create a whole new insurance system in America by which somebody could pay into a policy for like 8 years, right? And after 8 years, the policy starts paying you back, paying you out a benefit, right? And the bottom line, you pay into it, right? It will start when you turn 18 and end when you turn like 26. And then you got that to start in life with, you got a health insurance plan, you got basic income insurance, all that stuff like that, right? Then now you can get a job, whatever like that. You're sustainable, right? You can stay. That would be a model for people trying to settle in Africa, right? But people who are leading this Africa movement are not smart. I listen to 23, T3 and me and whatnot, and these people giving stupid ass advice. Or you come over here, but it's all emotion. I have not heard anybody who have a real solid plan, except for Mark Blanton. It's a real South Africa, but he deals with black people that have real money. You know, so the bottom line is this: there's not going to be, there's not going to be a lot of black people in America going.
Hey, Colin, why haven't you, since you've been out there for a while, haven't you checked out other African countries like Ivory Coast?
Let me say this because I find the same thing. Right? It doesn't really matter. Africa's Africa, right? If you go to any African country, right? If you don't have a vehicle, right? If you don't have a vehicle, a car, whatever like that, it's the same thing. You're on that time thing. You're waiting on somebody. The day it's a waste of time. Unless you can go to Africa and you got your own vehicle. Like most African countries are not modern. You can't say they're like when I go up to New York, right? Let's say I fly to New York. I want to stay for a couple of weeks. I can get a rental car. No big deal. Rental car. That's what you get rental cars for, right? In Africa, they don't have that. Rental cars and stuff like that, That makes all the freaking
No,
difference.
Colin, they have rental cars. It's just exorbitant, but they have rental
But
car
no,
prices in
it's
Liberia.
not really. They're not really reliable, bro. They got this stuff like that, this rental cars, but it's not like a Avis or Enterprise. I'm talking about on that level. They got some people that lease you cars for a day. I don't want nothing like that. I want to be like, put it on my card, and also they want cash every day. Right now in Liberia, right? Do you know almost all the ATMs because of the Decoration Day? All the ATMs in the country are fucking empty. It's hard to find an ATM that have money in it. Bullshit. And then we go every
Really?
place. Only the Lebanese places take cards. If any other African businesses let you go send it to their money wallet, you can't buy nothing. So if you don't have an ATM and then driving around all day when I try to find an ATM, you're spending up gas. It's a lot to this, man. Living in Africa, it's a challenge.
You can rent cars. I think you can rent cars in South Africa, though. I think you can
South Africa is a modern country. You can rent South Africa, book it in advance. You can book a car and whatnot, in advance. So really, this dude is gay. Hi, you talk about me? If you don't have money, bro, I do got money. How the fuck am I able to travel, fool? People are like these FBA people. They always come up here, but I get you. Guess what? This guy Styles don't have the balls. He calls me gay, but you ain't got the balls to come up here and talk to me. You ain't got the balls because you are a sissy. Styles, 1785. I think that's really fucking 1786, 1776. Who all thinks that's 1776? So it is what it is. Now I'm not gonna ship my car over here to this country. If I buy a car, it's gonna be for this country, I built my nice brand new Mitsubishi or my fucking Benz over here. What the fuck, you crazy? Get it banged up. I mean, something I could bang up and whatnot. Those things those guards you put on the bumpers and whatnot. That's what you need over here, because you will get into a fucking.
You need like a Toyota Land Cruiser or something like that.
Yeah, you need something like that, man. You need something, a Jeep Wrangler and stuff like that. You need something that's really friggin' tough over here, because you will get into a fender bender. The thing is how crazy Liberia is. And I said, no, they have lights now. The lights are not working, the red lights, the green lights, and people are obeying. I said, man, I feel like I'm in a real country now. But one day on the main road, on Elwa Road, right? Fucking everybody just blew through the light. I said, isn't that a red light? He said, oh yeah, but the light is just a suggestion. But they do stop at the junctions where there's traffic. People do obey the lights when you're at a junction. But when you got this traffic light that's in the middle of nowhere and you're driving and people got their high speed up, they ain't stopping for that shit. It's hilarious. But all the years I've been here, now you got traffic lights. They're solar powered, but they work. I'm like, okay, it's cool, man. Driving on Tubman Boulevard, stopping the lights and whatnot, watching traffic. The police officer there with his whistle waving people on. We got a damn traffic light. Man, I said, Liberia is improving, yo. We got traffic lights, yo. Yo, I could drive in this shit now, you know. Before, man, I was in no way I was getting in that Liberian track. Now I feel like confident I could drive in this country, you know. And also over the last couple of years, I think the number of people moving back to the rural areas is there because Monrovia don't seem as crowded as it used to be. Yeah. But yeah.
What's up with that? What's up with that border situation? Has that been resolved yet?
Well, what happens is, you know, you got this guy Yeka, that's a traitor to Liberia. He's going around saying that that land belongs to Guinea. You know, what happened was they were doing sand mining on the land, and I think it was probably Chinese, you know, and they were doing sand mining, and the Guinean people came over and said, no, this is part of Guinea. It's contested land, you know. When the borders are drawn up, this particular area on the river bank as a contested area. I know the area has diamonds in it and stuff like that. Guinea side of the border, Guinea don't have a lot of natural resources except for bauxite. But
That's
that
not
area
true.
right
That's not true, Carla. Guinea has one of the largest iron ore reserves. They have more
there,
iron ore than Liberia. In Mount Nimba, Guinea shares Liberia shares Mount Nimba with Guinea.
that whole area is on the Liberian side,
No,
you
no, no,
know.
no.
And,
The
and
half
also,
the majority of Mount Nimba is in Guinea, Carla.
that area is not going to be mined for any fucking iron ore, bro. Let's be real.
I'm telling you, what are you talking about? Guinea has a lot of iron ore. They have a plate. They have a company called Hanhoven. You know, used to call it be called
Okay, let me
HBX.
ask you a question. Let me ask you a
Uh,
simple question. How are they going to get that iron ore to the coast?
that's what I'm telling you, right? So
All right,
Guinea,
simple question. How would they get the iron ore if they do have it to the coast?
anybody can do a little research. The company.
No. I want to
Let
know.
me explain for a second, Carla.
You know what I'm talking. You know what I'm getting at. You know.
That's what I'm telling you. So let me explain.
The only way they're going to get that thing is through the port of Buchanan. That's it. You know, or they could use the Bong mine range right there.
That's not the
Right
only
there.
way, Carla.
So anyway, they got it because they cannot drill and do all the concrete. No, Elvin, concrete is almost like 7,000 miles away. You
Not
know, you're
concrete,
not going. They have to
concrete.
go through Liberia, concrete, whatever.
Listen,
The
listen to
bottom
me.
line is this: the shortest way is through Liberia. The whole so
Yes.
Guinea needs Liberia's port. You know,
Listen,
so the
listen,
bottom
Carla.
line is this: so that's the card. That's the card Liberia has to play. Guinea can't do nothing because
Let me
it's
let
not
me let me
like this.
explain it. Let me explain it. Right. So yes, the shortest way and the most logical way is to get access to Liberia through, you
Well,
know,
one, Styles, where the fuck you are,
oh,
do not tell me who to let the fucking talk on my goddamn platform. You know, let the Liberians speak. I'm in fucking Liberia right now. I know about this country and whatnot. You know, I have an opinion. He has an opinion. Don't tell me let the Liberians speak like it's some fucking like this. Nobody ever says let the Black Americans speak when we talk about Black American issues. So shut the fuck up with that shit. That's fucking highly disrespectful. If we're talking about Sierra Leone, we're not, yeah, I'll give way to fucking Amara or whatever like that. And I let Elvis talk because he is Liberian. But don't tell me I gotta fucking shut up on my own fucking show. Can't stand that disrespectful shit. Stop blocking people. Go ahead, Elvis.
yeah. So they wanted to have access to the Port of Buchanan, but the government signed a deal with Acela Mittal, and that they have exclusive right to the railroad that goes to the Port of Buchanan, and then
And also they're building another railway adjacent to it.
yeah. So there's this company called Eindhoven that does iron ore business in Guinea. Through the
And they could tear that up. RCL Batal
so
and whatnot. They're gonna tear up that contract.
they do
Elvis saw
transport they do transport the ore, but it's inefficient because it's so far away, like you're saying. So that was a logical thing to do, was to use the closest port, which would be the Port of Buchanan. But as ArcelorMittal, which is a competitor of theirs, don't want them to have access
it
to
doesn't
that
really matter.
railroad.
It does not really matter where Sorio talk. They got no choice. They're already invested in the country, you know. So the bottom line is this: Guinea builds its side of the border, and also I heard they're gonna build. It's gonna be like that railway is gonna have like 4 different tracks going to the coast. It's going to be big. They're going to even have passenger rail going up into the interior of the country. So they got a lot of plans for that port. And also they plan on
So,
upgrading Port of Buchanan into a modern
yeah,
super port.
because that company that I'm telling you about, they offer $2.1 billion in investment if the government of Liberia will allow them to have the port. And
So
the
the bottom line is
Salamitell,
the government of Liberia agreed to it. It's already happened. I've seen it. They're
yeah,
already
and the
building that port.
Salamitell, who's giving us a $200 million bonus on a 25-year contract for mining, is also trying to contest that agreement with the
Well, it
Liberian
doesn't really
government.
matter what Assyria Patel thinks and whatnot. The bottom line, it is what it is. It is what it is. Liberia's not going for that shit. Like I said, you guys act like Liberia, some of these third world countries that they'll tell Assyria Patel, just like Sim Darby, they'll tell them to get the fuck out of there in a minute. A lot of Liberians say that they want Assyria Patel, they want Sim Darby gone. That's what I.
I
That's
mean,
what.
Salamitell, all its problems, they hire a lot of people there in Nimba.
Well,
In
the bottom line is this: as long as they're doing that, they're fine. But there's a lot of Liberians who think that these concessionary agreements. If you think you're going to have too much to say, whatever like that, or get in there with Liberia's way, or hamper them like that, it's going to be all over. It's going to be a rainy day in China. That's the way
But
the
kind of
Liberians.
think about this, right? Just think about this, because the Salamitell has issues, but the people of Nimba has really benefited from them a lot, and they've made improvements,
Yeah,
right?
they are. But the whole thing is,
But
but guess
listen
what?
now, let me say this. So you have this new company that's coming in. We don't have a history with them. We don't know how they're going to treat it. You was even doing a show about it the
Well,
last
yeah,
time.
but
That these
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Osario Mittal is Indian, right? The iron ore is going to
no,
India.
it's a London-based company. It's owned by Indian national, but
Yeah,
it's a
but the
London-based
bottom
company.
line is this: it's mostly an Indian concern, and Indian and British concern. Like that, they do their thing. There's other people need iron ore as a raw material for whatever markets they have. So it's no competition. They're going. They both have their own iron ore source. You know, and the iron ore is not coming from Liberia; it's coming from Guinea. You know, so Guinea just wants Guinea wants to do is use that port, and we're not Buchanan, and they're willing to upgrade what you call the railways linking to the interior, because that port rail line used to have passenger coach cars and everything. People used to be able to take the train. I've seen the train station here in Buchanan, abandoned train station, and they used to take the train from Nimba to me Buchanan to Yekipa, and back in the days, that's how the train was like efficient. That was the only train, really passenger train in West Africa, but they're trying to build that over again right there. So the bottom line is,
Yeah,
and
my point here is some Liberians have apprehensions about that company having access to the port of Buchanan, because if they're going to do any major upgrade to their port, they're going to want to monopolize the use of that port, and that's going to be an issue
no,
because
it's not,
that's one of
because
our major
the
ports.
main port, is still going to be, which we call it Monrovia Freeport, and also you got Harper that could be made into a port, and you got Greenville Sino that could be made into a port. So the bottom line is this, what I'm hearing from Liberians, like they're ready to do something, because Buchanan Port's a nice deep water port, and so they're ready to start doing something like that. So if people come in here with a major investment like that, and International Focus magazine is definitely covering that whole thing, what's going on with the port of Buchanan, because there's a lot of American businesses that are coming there too. So go ahead, DK. What were you saying?
Nah, I don't remember what I was saying. I was saying about the border issue between Guinea and
Well, yeah. So like I said, there's a lot on the stake here. There's long going stake here. This guy Dembayo is I heard
Mongolia.
that he took
What's
some
that?
land from Sierra Leone, and Sierra Leone didn't do anything about it. He crossed into Sierra Leone, took land. But Liberians are like, this guy, there's a Liberian congressman named Yekaba who's using everything. This is another thing you have in DK in Africa, right? If
Mhm.
your guy who you like does not win the office, right? And this is basically, I think America's turning into third world African politics, right? You spend the next 4, 6 years demonizing and lying about everything they do. No, nothing's right. Nothing's right. Because you want your guy back into power. Your
Tyler,
guy.
it's the opposite. Yeke Koluba campaigned heavily for the current president. He was on his campaign team. He's
Yo,
disappointed in his corruption.
this guy is not. He talked about fucking taking his blade to
Yeah,
Dick.
because
Hold on, no,
he
no, no.
disillusioned with his
He
leadership
talking about
now.
you take look. He's gonna take his cutlass to the president. He should have been arrested for that shit.
He
And
can
so
because he's a sitting
the bottom line
representative.
now he's siding with the government of Guinea and contesting that land, that territory, that disputed territory belongs to Guinea.
But you know what,
And
Yeke, you know where he's from, Carla?
I don't know. I don't care.
He's from Lofa. He's from that area where the border
And so,
dispute
so,
is
so, so
happening.
my whole thing is the guy, DK asked me about the land dispute. The main thing is this, right? The main thing is this: you cannot go by what West Africans think or not, because you don't know if somebody paid somebody off, somebody they switch. There's like there's no integrity. It's like I believe this Dembaya, whatever his name is, president of Guinea. I believe that there's probably
Dumbuya.
French, Demboya, that's probably French companies, whatever like that, has eyeing the territory. And you know how it usually goes when you want the territory for yourself. But I think he's a can he has to pay, because before he got into power, Guinea was already on the move as far as like negotiating with Liberia to connect Guinea, that part of Guinea, with the port of Port of Buchanan. You know, so this guy's just a goon. He's just a thug, whatever. And so he basically just, I'm gonna take. I don't know. Like I said, when it comes to West Africa, man, and like I said, I try to.
Liberia doesn't have like the military to defend their borders, which is unfortunate. But they don't have
Well, actually,
powerful
to tell you the truth, what I would say this, right? Now, take Yeka away, right? Take Yeka away, because what he's doing is he's basically soft soaping Liberians, right? And they're basically like, oh, well, their resolve is like, that's our territory, right? But if you got a Liberian sitting member of Congress making the case that, okay, we need to negotiate, whatever like that, that takes sort of fire away from the Liberians defending the territory, you know? So what I'm trying to say is,
Yeke is no coward, Carla. He was a fighter, a rebel during the war for Charles
oh
Taylor.
yeah, like I said, what he should be is in vocational school, Dude is not no fucking statesman. So anyway, my whole thing is this. One thing is, now, one thing that could happen, right? If those Liberians, right, which I strongly doubt. Now, Guinea presses into the interior beyond that area, into Lofa, Nimba, and it becomes a provocation across the board. What you're going to have is Liberians are going to say, "Fuck the Liberian government, fuck the military, fuck all that," and they're going to start taking up arms, right? When they do that, when those Liberians go back to the bush, right, and Guinea does not know what it's up against, those people right there fought the worst war probably in African history, right?
That's not gonna happen for one reason, Carla.
Why? Why
You
wouldn't
don't
it
have
happen?
yeah, you don't have a constant stream of logistics coming into the country.
Oh, hold
Let
up.
me explain what I mean by that. Give me a chance before you jump down. When the war was happening, you had Charles Taylor, right? Who brought in a lot of arms through through Ivory Coast. So if Liberians are to defend themselves, they need arms coming into the country. They need ammunition. We don't make ammunitions. We
Oh,
can't buy ammunitions in our
I
region.
would say,
So without that, we're going to be killed.
hold on. I would say, look, I would say this, right? If you think that's going to be a problem, you are sadly fucking mistaken. Because
Yeah, look,
I've
wasn't
seen
Charles
some of
Taylor
these.
getting
Look, I've
Charles Taylor
seen
was getting weapons
Gaddafi,
from
Gaddafi was helping him through Ivory Coast.
DK. I've seen some of these guys, right, in the rural areas, right? These guys look like these guys. I don't know what they're really thinking of them. They look dangerous. Some of these guys are just waiting for something to pop off. And trust me, they will get weapons. I know them. They will get the weapons. They will
Well,
find them.
this
They will get them.
Dumbuya was part of the French Foreign Legion. He might have served in like Afghanistan or Mali, so he's a real soldier. He's not one of these African
Well, but
tip-offs.
has he ever been put to the test though?
I don't know.
Look, Kyla, we got 2,000 active military. Guinea has something like
Oh,
60,000
wait, hold on. But
military
what I'm
troops.
That's
saying,
big,
what I'm
though.
They
saying
The
is
have
this.
tanks. They have
Hold on,
aircrafts.
hold on. When that war broke out in Liberia, Guinea couldn't stop that. Nigeria couldn't stop that. Nobody could stop that until the U.S. U.S. military showed up off the coast. They
Yeah,
ran out.
because they wasn't really fighting they wasn't going during the
No, they
all-out war.
were deeply involved in that thing.
Kyla, let me speak for a second. They wasn't really fighting the all-out war. Most of their job was to make a buffer zone and keep the buffer zone safe. That's it. They wasn't really engaging. It was only
And
later in the
so in other
war
words, basically,
when the
what happened?
Nigerian Air Force started to bomb the rebel,
I'll be
Trump.
like, I'll be like this. I'll be like this. If Liberians and whatnot start taking up guns and whatnot, they will cross over into Guinea. And that'll be it. You know.
Come on,
And they will
Colin.
get killed. They will get slaughtered. They don't have the logistics to
Come on,
fight about
Colin.
the Ghanaian army.
You really think? And I'm looking at this. Has Guinea ever went through what Liberia went through? How do you know
It
they got the
doesn't
stuff?
matter, Kyle. I'm telling you, Charles Taylor was the one that gave the Guineans hard time when they encroached into places like Masata in Guinea with his ATU boys, his anti-terrorist unit boys.
Check this out. Look, Liberia only has 2,000 troops, right? It don't take. You got militia groups in Liberia that bigger than that. They're still waiting in the bush.
They can't. They don't have the logistical support to maintain a war
Hold
against
on.
Guinea.
Look, Elvis. They got cell phones.
Oh my God.
They got like this. Hold on, with smartphones, cell phones, technology, whatnot. You'd be surprised.
Guinea has an air force, right? Liberia has no air support,
Yeah, I
nothing.
know that. What I'm saying is this: if you think, like, first of all, Guinea does not want a long war with Liberia. They would like to a short thing, whatnot.
Yeah.
But if you know that if they know they're going to suffer heavy casualties and stuff like that, if they have to invade
Colin,
Liberia,
man, Liberia is not like Iran where they have like an indigenous missile program or something like that. It's a
Right.
small country, so it's not like they can.
We have
but you
no
never know.
source of production to
And
maintain any kind of war.
you got Lebanese here, right? And what I'm hearing is a lot of these Lebanese, they're entrenched here now, and they're linked to Hezbollah and stuff like that. These Lebanese can bring guns in here, and a lot of people tell me the Lebanese here are connected.
How long do you think a gun takes before it reaches to the port, Colin? From
I have no
Lebanon,
idea. They can
a
fly
long time. It takes months.
First of all, most of the guns that came in through came in through plane. They dropped crates of them off in the country. They didn't come through ships. They came on a plane.
And I'm telling you, look, the Liberian War, the rebels, they were on equal footing. They didn't have air support. They didn't have the sophistications of warfare. They were just fighting in the bush. That's not what the Guinean military is. They have, reconnaissance. They have a air force. They can monitor the airspace. It's different, Carla. It's different.
Yeah, and also, like he said, Heritage says also, Liberia is also a part of Africa. The United States will step in. If Liberia's attacked by Guinea, saying that. And from what I'm hearing, Mboya is angry about the Iran war. He's angry because he's a Muslim, right? So
Nah, but he's not a Shia Muslim. They don't really
it doesn't
consider.
matter.
No, it does. It does. Shia. Most Sunnis don't consider Shia real Muslims.
What I don't understand is this: what the hell do Black Muslims? Why do they care about what happens to Iran? That's what I don't understand.
Unless they're Shia Muslims, most Muslims.
No, it's all Muslims. DK,
listen, Carl, let me explain something to you that you don't know. The Shia Muslim.
Amara is a Muslim. We don't care about Iran.
Okay, there you go, Carl. And I'm trying to explain it to you. The Shia Muslim, they insult Aisha, they call her a prostitute. They killed the Prophet daughter Fatima. They killed Ali. They killed his son Hassan Hussein in Iraq. So they don't care about them.
So let me ask you a question. So those same Muslims, right? What do they think about Israel?
I mean, they don't like Israel. They don't like Israel. They kind of stand in solidarity with the Palestinians.
Israel. First of all, Iranians are not Arabs. They're Persians. Okay?
What's his name?
Saudi Arabia and all the other people are Sunnis, and they are Arabs. Okay. Now in Africa, in West Africa, we have what you call West African Islam, which is steeped in African spirituality. So we go over so far.
Yo, kiddo, I mean, what you call it? Explain Boko
Amar.
Haram. Amar, explain Boko Haram.
Boko Haram is a tribal fight. To the bottom of it is the tribal fight.
They're talking about Islamic Caliphate state.
Yeah, listen. I am Muslim, and I'm telling you, I've been in a mosque with people that want to do all types of stupid shit.
Boko Haram is Wahhabi Salafist, Carla. It's the most violent form of Islam that they follow.
Let me explain. The bottom line is
money from. Where they getting this money from?
Listen, Carla, you want to tell you? Let me tell you how we the West African Muslims finesse these stupid Arab guys. These stupid Arab guys, they're the ones that like how the Catholic Church got evangelism. You want to spread the word and whatever. So anybody that got a local dispute is going to fake the funk. Say, I am Wahhabism. I am this, I am that. Whatever they want to hear. And give me support. I give you support. But the bottom line is, I got my own local dispute. Maybe land dispute with another tribe, whatever. But I need support. So I'm using these stupid Arab people that think they're spreading the word of Islam all throughout and spreading guns and spreading this and spreading that because they got money. I'm using that as a front to get what I need to fight my local fight. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Well, I'm a Muslim. I've been in a mosque with suicide bomb. People want to do suicide bombing. People want to make create a group. All types of bullshit. Okay, y'all stupid. You're the most dumbass people I can ever run into. Y'all, because the real West African Islam is based on African spirituality. 95% of our Islam is based on African spirituality. These Arab guys, they keep forcing their own way. You're going to follow the Arab way. Okay, you got money? Bring it on. You got guns? Bring it on. You got anything I need? Bring it on. And to them, I don't got somebody I signed up to pursue my program. But down at the bottom of it, they're just using them like a pimp. They're pimping them out. That's what it is. So don't fall for Boko Haram. Okay, you need help. Today you need help. You need to talk to these Arabs. Gaddafi was giving people guns and money and stuff like that. Yeah, I think the fuck. Yeah, we support Arab Islam. We don't pursue African Islam anymore. We want to open our own caliphate. We want to open our own this.
What people are trying to say now is that you have like groups in Liberia and Sierra Leone or whatnot that are undercover and they're basically acting like Boko Haram. And it's a recruiting ground.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, I'm in a mosque with these people every day. People making money. When you want to make money and these people bringing money, you can come up with all types of shit. They believe that shit. They're supplying you with all types of shit for you to pursue. But deep down, you don't know when you're not listening to them.
I heard that before. Like, the money and all hell breaks loose and whatnot. They said that.
Colin. On this Iran shit, man, I think people are supporting Iran because Trump attacked them, and that wasn't really necessary. So they feel that, man, that was an unnecessary attack.
It wasn't. And now that why is it that Trump says we're going to lift sanctions on Iranian oil? That's how bad things are.
I mean, that's your president, Carla. You thought transgenderism was going to put your gas price up and put you in a war.
Let me say
he bit off more than what he could chew.
I still, in a million years, think that Trump was better than Kamala Harris. I'll never be like that because simple fact is,
only a fool refused to admit when he was wrong.
Look, Elvis. Right? Look, You cannot have an open border. You cannot have that because sooner
Sure,
or
Colin.
later, like what's going on in Chicago right now, it's going to be conflict in this country.
Yeah, open borders are gonna have nuclear bombs dropping on you in a
It
couple
doesn't
months
matter.
time.
You have what you have. You have a bunch
They're
of
talking
people
about
who
there's
support Trump
they're talking
system.
about there's Iranian sleeper cells in America thanks to Biden's open border.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't have that. You cannot have an open border and
Thank
people
the
coming
Biden.
in.
I'm all this stupid shit to say.
Well, tell
I said
me,
the only
hold up. Tell me how in a sane world you have people from fucking what was it Venezuela that
Carla,
came.
your president just told his people to stop saying mass deportation.
Hold on. People from Venezuela came across the border, right? Set up shop and took over a whole city or apartment
Yeah,
complex.
yeah. They're bringing them back, Carla. They're
Charging
bringing
people.
more immigrants back for farming because the farmers, their business are dying. Trump are not bringing them back willfully.
No, they're not. You know,
Yes,
most
he
of them.
is. He literally is.
Less than 5% of them are farming. You know, not
Okay.
you.
Ask DK. He's informed. He'll tell you. They're bringing them back now. And Trump is sending out the memo. Don't talk about mass deportation anymore. They're switching strategies. So all
Just
that
like
nonsense you guys believe, Trump don't believe it.
just like the the Trump and them believe like it's both sides are stupid, right? Trump and them believe bringing white Afrikaners will gonna help the American agriculture. This is who leads the fucking world, man. You got dumbass people on the left, dumbass people on the right. You know, it's a joke. You know, that's why
No,
I'm
the
expecting.
real dumbass is the person who votes without thinking about the global implication, the global strategic implications of a buffoon being in office, who is
I did.
incompetent, who can't lead a
I think,
war.
we can all agree Trump looks like a fucking idiot right now. You see him saying that he didn't know the Strait of Hormuz was going to close, and he's asking. He says, "Oh, we don't need any of our allies." Then he asks
Yeah,
if they come
the
help.
bottom line, look, I would say like
Like,
this.
it's
I would say like
fucking
this,
idiot.
right? He's been misled by this idiot,
Oh boy,
Pence.
this guy would never put the blame where it belongs. DK.
No. He's advising that right there was an elementary mistake. You know, the Strait of
That's what makes him a fool. A fool don't make makes
That's not his
elementary
job.
mistakes.
His job is to get intelligence and
No,
information.
that's literally his job is to get all the intel and
Yeah,
make a
okay.
rational
And the
decision in the
bottom
best
line is,
interest of the United States of America,
this.
and he didn't do that.
What you have to have in everything, right? Is you got to have no men. You know, the problem with Donald Trump is he doesn't have no men.
And that's
No
what
men.
fools do. They
Yeah,
surround
no
themselves
men.
with yes men.
You know
No
how
men.
stupid
No
he is?
men.
This Netanyahu guy has been talking this Iran has been 1 week away from a bomb for decades. None of the previous presidents took the bait. Only Trump did.
Right.
Only
Of
Trump
course.
did.
But DK, you got to consider, many people believe this, and I might believe it too, that he's compromised. Many people feel like everything he's been trying to hide in that Epstein file, the Israelis have it,
I think
and they're
so, man.
threatening to release it.
I think they have something on him. They're
Right.
holding something on him.
I mean, this is what Colin them voted for.
Well, the
Higher
bottom line
gas
is,
prices. Now U.S. troops are going there, probably going to get a U.S.
like
boots
I
on the
said,
ground.
Elvis.
I mean, I didn't vote in the last election. I didn't like either.
Had it not been for what men playing in female sport, that was the thing that angered me the most. That's what got me to the
My
poll.
point is, it doesn't affect your personal life. The
Yes,
shit
it
that's
does.
happening right now is going to affect your life.
Yes, it does.
How the hell does a gay man affect your life, Carla, or a transgender man affect your life?
Bottom line is this: a transgender man walks into a friggin' thing with my nieces in the bathroom or whatnot.
Oh boy,
Pulls out his yank and
this
says,
is an imaginary thing that you're saying, Carla. It's never happened.
That's true. That's true. Listen to the
When was the
man.
last time your niece was in the bathroom with a transgender man?
Listen, if my daughter goes into the bathroom and a transgender man walking there, that man is dead. And
When
I'm
was the
going to
last time you saw it? What is his name, Amara?
a black woman got
So
banned
what?
from going to the gym.
When was the last time you saw a transgender man?
Look, Elvis.
The people are everywhere. The people that act gay or whatever,
I'm telling you, the
transgender
thing
people,
that's
they're
impacting your
everywhere.
life right now is this war.
It's not
Goes from any
affecting my life.
transgender anything.
We're just saying they have to have their own bathroom. They have to have their own everything. You can't take them. They can't say they're women and like our daughters and stuff like that are in the bathroom. And you go in there as a man, you're a dead man. I'm a soft life imprisonment with pride.
Hell, we had it in Loudoun County, Virginia. A boy, self-identified as a female, went into a girl's bathroom and raped 2 girls. That happened like 2 years ago in Loudoun County. And the stupid woman governor we got right here, she basically was like, supporting that shit. You know,
Okay.
look,
All right, Kyle.
there's a black woman. Look it up. The gold gym incident. You guys heard about that? She went off that this man went into the women's shower, or whatever like that, pulled his dick out, and she's like, "What the hell you doing and whatnot?" And they banned her from fucking Gold's Gym. But talking about a man walked into a fucking thing
That's
where
crazy.
women are getting dressed and went in the sauna naked, whatever like that, whatever, with his dick out, whatnot, you know. Talking about he identifies as a woman.
Who do you think commit more rapes, transgender man or straight
I
man?
don't know Elvis. I don't give a damn. I
Okay
do
then.
not
So it
support.
doesn't impact you, Carla.
I
The shit
think
that impacts you is the shit that you voted for, and now you're
Elvis, you got
fucked.
kids? Elvis, you got kids?
Of course.
I think
Yeah.
I
Do
live.
you want to raise your kids in an environment like that?
That's what I'm telling you, right? Listen to me.
Do you want to raise your kids around those
I
people?
said, listen to me, right? I live in Minnesota, right? I live in Minnesota. It's
Oh, that's
really a
good.
liberal. It's really a liberal state, right? But I live in
It
the
doesn't
suburbs.
matter. Do you want to raise your kids
Can you let me? Can
around
you
that?
allow me? Can you allow me to explain?
Okay, good.
Elvis, and you know something? If Donald Trump ran again, I'd vote for him again.
Of
Just put it like
course, because you're an idiot and you don't know when to admit when you're wrong, and that's what pompous
that was my
people with
issue.
hubris do.
I don't give
What
a
if there
fuck.
was
I
a better
don't give a fuck
candidate
about
for the
nothing else.
Democrats that was against all this? Like, would you vote for what's that guy in California,
Fetterman,
Gavin Newsom?
you know, he seems like a fruitcake himself, man. You know, I don't like that.
This is
You know
the
who?
nonsense I'm talking about, DK.
You know who would
Things
be
that
a
have real impact on your life, you don't worry about it,
it does because you
and
know
you worry about trivial things.
Elvis, you don't see the understanding because you're not American. People vote on their values, not
Not
about like they say.
people.
It's your values. Who's
Say the
your
guy
values?
who voted for a pedophile. Say the guy who's voted for a
Before
warmonger.
you say you don't have any proof of that.
Okay. All the redaction, all the
Well, I do
allegation of a
know. I do
13-year-old
know.
accusing him of raping her,
I do
who
know
later blew off her brains in Oklahoma.
I do know that there was a man who won Olympic gold medal as a swimmer in a women's sports
But
thing
Carla, do you think
How does
Trump
that guy affect your life, Colin?
because of my
Do you think Trump,
values. My
Carla,
values. That's why.
do you think Trump's in those Epstein files? You think he's hiding something?
I have no idea, and I
Of
don't
course,
care.
that's his answer to everything when he knows he's lying.
My whole thing is this. My whole thing is this. The Epstein files, whatnot, whatever seen like that, the laws out there. They said open them, you know, stuff like that. If something was in there, trust me.
It's the biggest case of pedophiles.
Carla,
And Trump was best friend with the nigga for like 10 years.
Elvis, let me
he
ask you a
ran
question.
his whole campaign on that. He ran his whole campaign on that.
Let me
And now
ask
he's
you a question.
reneging on it.
Let me ask you a question, right? Are there victims of the Epstein file?
Are you asking me that question? Of course, they're victims of the Epstein files.
Okay, Elvis. Can you give me a first and last name of 3 victims?
Or 3 victims. One of them is Virginia Dufresne.
Okay,
You know,
okay.
a lot of the other.
Hold on. Okay, now she was a victim. What happened to her? Who was how old was she when it happened, and what exactly happened to her?
Okay, Virginia Dufresne was the young girl who worked at Mar-a-Lago, Trump Resort in Florida.
All right.
Jeffrey Epstein went to his resort and recruited her through Ghislaine.
Hold up.
I mean, can I speak? You asked me a question and you want to let me speak, Carla?
All right. Get to the bottom line. Go ahead.
I'm giving you the history and the connections. He went to his resort and recruited her from there using Ghislaine Maxwell, and at 16 years old, she became a sex. I won't say slave, but she became a.
Who did she sleep with?
Hold on, Carla. She slept with Jeffrey Epstein, who she also accused him of sharing her with Prince Andrew. Hold on, Carla. Prince Andrew, who paid her 16 million pounds from the royal house in England for what he did to her. He lost he was stripped of his royal titles. And now he's even being arrested and it's possibly going to be prosecuted in the UK.
How old was she at the time?
She was 16 years old.
Okay, let's look it up.
And she was also given to other men as gifts, sexual gifts by Jeffrey Epstein, other powerful men. She committed suicide 2 years ago.
Hold on. What was her name?
Virginia Dufresne.
Virginia Dufresne. Dupree or Dupre? Dupre. Okay. Now, we're like this. How much Dupre? Okay. Like this. So like this. Okay. I want to see her name. Okay. Wikipedia. Does Wikipedia got anything on her? Virginia play
Colin, you
Wikipedia.
think it's all bullshit? Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is like when they talk about Bill Cosby, right? When they talk about Bill Cosby, talk about like that. When you basically make an accusation like this, right? I want to see proof before
Carla,
I
they
go.
settled with her. The royal family settled with her for the Prince Andrew abusing her to get her 16 million
Okay,
pounds.
but you
That was with
so
the acquiescence of the
she
queen at the
got she
time.
got 16 million pounds, and she said she committed suicide.
Yeah, she killed herself a few years ago, maybe 2 years ago.
Okay, it says Virginia Bray was 17. She said she was 17. You know, she was 17. How did it go from 16 to 17?
Oh, Colin, you can't. You're like Mr. Cat said. You're playing a
No, no,
loser
no,
here.
no.
Right?
Look,
You're a
hold on.
fool.
Let me say like this. Okay, somebody said Virginia Bray wasn't a fake victim, and you go after him, Piers Morgan, like this. But what I'm saying is this, though. Okay, Prince Andrew, right? You got a smoking gun. She was 17 years old. 17 years old, almost sub adult. 17.
Almost. Okay.
She was 17 years old. She was 17 years
Okay,
old.
Carla.
Still underage, right? Still underage. Okay, that's fine, right? It was inappropriate. Jeffrey Epstein.
It was illegal. What do you mean inappropriate, Carla?
Hold on.
They raped her against her will, not just that. It wasn't just the sex. It wasn't
Hold
consensual
on. See,
sex.
that's the thing problem I have, right? Now, just like that one girl, black girl, like I think she
Carla,
was mixed race.
this is the man who say he has values, and you're trying to defend these people, Carla. You're disgusting right now
Hold on.
to me, bro.
Let me say my point, right? There was a girl a few years ago. I don't know if you guys remember this case. She was a black girl. She was mixed race, whatever like that. She had went to trial, went to jail for killing a man, right? Murdering a man, right? Then what happened was she grew up, whatever like that. They convicted her for first degree murder, right? But then she had all these female activists saying that she was trafficked, right? Come to find out, right? And the truth was, and the governor let her off because it was political pressure. Truth was, she was actively soliciting people when at her age. She knew what she was doing, stuff like that. It's wrong, it's like that, right? She robbed the guy that she murdered, right? And then they tried to create the narrative that he was her pimp and he forced her and stuff like that. And that was not the truth, right? But it got her off, Years later, she spent like 10
This
years
is
in jail.
now that I'm sure you're conflicting some of the information on that case.
The point I'm trying to make is this: 17 years old, right? I was like, okay, she went there.
Carla, have you seen the Epstein files?
Hold on. Oh, no, it is. He offered 16 million pounds. Did she take the money?
Of course, they pay her. They pay her that money
All right,
for damages.
And she was traumatized. Why in the world did she take the money?
Carla, what are you doing, Carla? I have some modicum of respect for you. Stop doing this.
No.
Stop defending pedophiles. What are you doing, man?
I'm not defending pedophiles, right? I'm saying, okay, it went on for a couple of years. That means that she, when it ended, she was over 18, right?
Do you know? That's what I'm saying. You're lacking understanding, right? Let me explain this to you. Listen to what I'm saying, Carla. Listen carefully. Don't be defensive here for these people.
You're calling everybody that's in there. You don't know nothing about.
No, you have to read the file. I don't even think you've been reading the files.
Everybody involved with Epstein, a pedophile, and you have not.
You're not reading. That's what I'm saying. You're not reading the files, Carla.
Hold on. What I'm saying is, okay, give me another file. Give me another person.
Colin, this wasn't just one incident. They're talking about a well-organized international.
We know that. Hold on. What I'm saying is this. Okay, you got one victim, right? That was basically had this, it was her word against his word, whatever like that. That's not.
What do you mean? Oh my gosh, Carla.
Hold on. When you say
stop doing the hold up thing. We're having a conversation. Stop trying to stronghold the conversation, Carla.
Hold on. When you say rape, that's a serious accusation. That means you forcibly did something against somebody against their will. Now, if somebody was raped against their will, why in the world would you take 16 million pounds?
Carla, so you think she wasn't raped?
I don't know, but I'm saying maybe she was sexually assaulted, maybe she was trafficked. But when you call somebody a
She
rapist,
said she was raped, Carla. That's what I'm saying. You're not informed on this issue, so maybe you're ignorant.
Hold up.
See, you
Did
can't
she
even
ever
let me get
call?
one sentence out. You start doing the hold up thing.
Hold on. If she was raped, why did she go to? Why did she take the money? Why did she go to the authorities?
Oh my gosh, Carla.
No, serious. That's a serious question. Why did she go to the authorities?
Listen here, right? The case of Ghislaine Maxwell, where she got convicted for 25 years of being
Right,
a solicitor and a madam for Jeffrey
and that's
Epstein.
and that's illegal.
One of the star witnesses in that case was Virginia Dufresne. You need to go read that case and study up on that case. The things that she said they did to her, the credibility that the jury found that she was credible, and most of the things she was saying was true, and other witnesses whose name was redacted because they didn't want to be exposed, as being abused at a young age. A lot of people didn't come forward, and their names should have been redacted in the Epstein file that was released. A lot of their names wasn't redacted. So,
And
Carla,
my whole
this is
thing
a
is,
whole rabbit hole,
look, this is
that's really deep.
this is all reprehensible. I think anybody having sex with an underage girl is disgusting, whatever like that. But I put it in proper context, right? You have sex with an underage girl, right? Now, if that's the true, right? The true right now, even in her post-mortem, Prince Andrew could still be charged.
He
You
literally
know?
got arrested the
Now,
other day and is being investigated, and possibly he's going to be tried.
okay. So that's one case, right? Now, okay, you say we got these Epstein files. Is there a smoking gun? Is Bill Clinton implementing this?
Yeah, Bill Clinton was implicated in this word,
Okay, well,
having.
who exactly did Bill Clinton allegedly sleep
We
No,
don't
that's
know.
what I'm saying. He was implicated. It wasn't a smoking gun for him,
with? Okay,
for example.
hold. You said
Hold on. I
implicated.
mean, guys, Kyla, is this a conversation? What are you doing, Kyla? Are we having a conversation or what?
Go ahead. Show me where he was implicated. Go ahead.
That's what I said. It wasn't a smoking gun, but he partied with Epstein. He socialized with Epstein. Everybody knew that he was a notorious pedophile, right? Even Bill Gates had one famous email that he exchanged with Epstein, that he had given his wife an STD from a Russian hooker that Epstein had for him, and he was trying to find ways to maybe give his wife antibiotics so that she doesn't her infection gets cured, maybe putting in her coffee or whatever. They was having these conversations. So these guys knew who Epstein was. He was a facilitator of women, and usually young girls, to very powerful, well-connected men around the world. Donald Trump was friends with him for
Okay,
many,
all
many
right,
years.
all right.
The Clintons was friends with him.
Elvis. That's beautiful. It's beautiful
It's
what
not
you said.
beautiful. It's terrible. Why would you say it's beautiful?
What you stated, right? But what I don't understand is, right, and is that it seems that this whole thing has become politicized. You
Oh boy.
know, it's not about justice; it's about politicization of stuff like that. This guy Go
Who's
Rest.
politicizing it? The Democrats, or who's politicizing it, Colin?
No, it's everyone politicizing this. You know, it's
Every
politicized.
Republican voted for it except one,
Yeah, I
for it
know
to be
it's
released, and every
politicized.
Democrat. So it's bipartisan. It's not politicized.
The whole thing is politicized. Go
Nah,
Rest.
both the House and the Senate agree with it.
Hold on, Go Rest. Please show me your face. Before I let you up. I'm not letting nobody up until I see that face. You know. So I guess he doesn't want to come on. You know.
But
But
Colin,
yeah,
yeah,
my point I'm trying to make is you asked me initially why I voted the way I did, right? I said is because I felt strongly my values about this transgender shit and gay marriage and all stuff like that. I believe in marriage between a man and a woman. I believe, in what I do for a living, Elvis, right? Section 1557 of the affordable, this is what really got me on this, right? Because in 2000, what year was this? 2020. I wasn't really paying attention to this, right? In 2020, Elvis, right? A new provision came from the Affordable Health Care Act, right? That took effect. That was 10 years in because it's called Section 1557 of the Affordable Care Act, right? This says the current administration shall determine, right, interpret gender. Before this, section of where we're at, gender was decided at birth. When that came on, they basically people could declare right there, and then whatever administrations of power could decide whether to change the rules, whatever like that. Before that, man was a man, woman was a woman. I said to myself, what if somebody comes into my office, right, and wants to buy a policy or something like that, and he's self-identifying a woman? I said, I shouldn't be have to put on the spot like that. And my sister was telling me, well, what the law is, you cannot ask, that's gender discrimination. I said, that's not discrimination. Why should a grown-ass man self-identify as a woman to get a cheaper insurance rate? A man's a man, a woman's a woman. We have a different biology, right? So therefore, I saw all this stuff affecting what I do for a living and stuff like that, right? So I had strong opinions about this. What people do in their privacy of their home, they can do what the hell they want to do. But when it comes here to this, where everybody has to change like this, also they start saying things like, we don't not allowed to say mother anymore. We got to say birth giver. They can't say daughter anymore. They say
They
whatever.
said that provision in the Affordable Care Act was to protect against people being discriminated based on their sex, right?
That's a bunch of nonsense.
I just posted it, Carla, in the back chat. You can pull it up. This is from the United States Department of Health. Don't misrepresent it. It says that you can't discriminate.
It's like, hold on. So in other words, basically, a man could get an insurance policy.
I just said post it up, Carla. You're on the show right now. It's in the back chat. This is from the United States Government Department of Health. So you can post it up and show the world what it actually says. It's not talking about transgender. It's talking about sex.
No, it's like look. It's like this. You cannot self-identify as a man.
It didn't say anything about self-identification there.
Yes, it is, because that's
pull it up, Carla. That's what I said. Pull it up.
I'm not you do your research. I already know this.
No, I did the research and I put the link there. It's right there. You can pull it up. This is coming from the U.S. government.
1557 of the Affordable Care Act, ACA.
Pull it up, Carla. Let the people see it on your screen.
That's a provision right there that said, told all of us in the industry and whatnot, we're no longer allowed to say, like, when you meet somebody, you got to ask them what they identify as. You cannot say a male, female. You got to.
It says protecting individual against sex discrimination.
Yeah, that's right? Not sex discrimination. That's not sex discrimination. That's
this is on the official government website. All you got to do is pull it up and read it, Carla. I can't read it now because I got to go on other page.
That's what the friggin' Obama administration and the Biden administration put in there, and Trump.
Oh, read it right now. The Affordable Care Act hasn't been rectified. It's still the same.
Affordable Care Act law. Even different parts of the law took 10, 15 years to kick in. What kicked in 2020, effective 2020, was 1557.
That's what I just put there. Go read 1557 to the people. Let them see it. It's not talking about transgenderism.
It said that a person could decide their gender. That opens the door to the transgender thing.
Go read it. It doesn't say that.
Let me like this. I know you playing fucking stupid.
It's right there. Pull it up, Carla.
You playing fucking stupid. 1557 of the Affordable Care Act. 1557 ACA. All right. Overview. 1577 is provisions of the Affordable Care Act, detail practical to do. Which program is covered under 1557? Part C, Medicare Part D. Does not, however, cover Medicare Part B. Okay. Programs are covered under 1557. It says protection against sex discrimination. Right here. All right. Section 1567, individual sex discrimination. Now, the only ones complaining about sexual discrimination are gays.
Oh, boy. So you refuse to read what it says, and you put that through transgenderism protection.
I mean, I'm going to read it. Yep. But the only people that complain about sex discrimination are the people has confused about their sexuality. I see a man, Read
what the provision says, Carl.
Section 60 is the civil rights provision of the Affordable Care Act. I hate that when they put civil rights in there. You know. Yo, Bash, I'm sorry, man. We don't do white people over here, bro. Sorry, man. Sorry, bro. We don't do white devils over here. No white devils on the show. So fine, get the fuck out of here, go, and whatnot. Don't want to hear what the fuck you guys say. So it's like 15, 6, 6, 7. It says color, sex, disability, health programs, activities. The section final rule, that's what it is, the final rule. That was on the Obama administration, the final rule. Because each administration has what we call a final rule.
They didn't say anything about transgenderism in there, Carla.
No, it doesn't say that. But
so why did you make that point then? If it doesn't say that,
point is, don't freaking interrupt me when I'm talking.
Now you're getting mad because you love to argue.
What I'm saying is this: so it does not spell out that, but the wording is that it opens it up for interpretation. It's on the final rule, right? Biden administration's final rule used that to open up the thing for the military using that for same-sex, for gender transition and stuff like that. Trump administration changed their final rule when Trump got in office. He changed the final rule, to basically say that man and woman gender is decided at birth, and the bottom line is you're not entitled to a sex change as covered by federal health insurance. That's what happened, So in other words, basically, if you have a gender thing, you was born in the wrong gender, you could basically say that I need a sex change and whatnot because as a health concern, it's like somebody saying I need Botox, because I want to look younger. That's not medically necessary, Now, what this says right now in the final rules right now, saying gender reassignment is not medically necessary. It's cosmetic, just like a face change, anything like that. If you want to do that, it's on your own, at your own expense. But the federal government, Medicare, Medicaid, whatever like that, will not cover it. That's what it is. This is what I do for a living, bro. That was the final rule under the Trump administration.
I'm only letting you talk because if I prove you wrong, you'll get mad. So I'm only letting you talk. You didn't win the argument. I just proved the point.
Elvis, that's the truth because
you admitted just now that it doesn't say anything about transgenderism in there.
Elvis,
it's your own interpretation that you was getting from it.
Elvis, you're filibustering.
I'm not. I just made a point. I let you talk the whole time.
What I said was it's about interpretation of a law. The transgender stuff is something that people take the law when it was under the Biden.
But you refused to read the law, and you kept skirting around the bush.
I read it already,
Yeah, if you go to your job, it tells you can't discriminate on a person based on sex.
You don't know what you're talking about because the bottom line is this.
Carla, don't do that. You're just losing now. You're getting angry, and you want to.
No. I am winning the argument.
No, you're not. About, right? You can't discriminate even in employment based on sex. Hold on. It's the same thing for healthcare. You can't discriminate based on sex. That's all that part of the law says.
Based on sex, because you are just defined. Your sex is defined by birth. So calling you a man is not discriminating against you.
Did they say anything about? Did they say anything about people who changed their gender in that part of the bill?
It says the ruling under the Obama administration and Biden administration changed it to say that a person could voluntarily change their gender.
That's not what it says. It doesn't say anything about that in there.
No, and not in the law, but the final rule. You understand what final rule means?
Well, did you read it? Read the final rule.
Look, this is what it is. You don't know the freaking law, right? You have the law, right? And then you have each administration with the Director of Health and Human Services, CMS and whatnot. They issue reports and whatnot. And the current administration issues a final rule. That means it's closure. That means it's not closed, whatever like that's open to interpretation. The law is open to interpretation. That's what happened. So therefore,
who interprets the law, Carla?
The law is interpreted like this. It's the current
by the court, by the Supreme Court, is the final arbiter and interpreter of the law, not you or I.
The court has nothing to do with it. The court doesn't interpret. Right. The court only interprets the constitutionality of the law. No, the Supreme Court
interprets the constitutionality of the law.
This has nothing to do with the constitutionality. This is the final rules, right? It's just
Who makes
like
the final rule?
hold on. Just look, the agency's head make the final rule, just like the energy department, right? Which you're trying to get rid of, was created back in the 70s, right? To put all these regulations on us and whatnot. They have a final rule, and the government, not even the president, can override the agency's final rule. Now, the president can influence it because who he appoints as health and human services usually carries out his agenda. That's how a final rule works. It's the agency that's like, look it up. Agencies determine the final rule of every single thing. That's how the government works.
What does
The
the final
agency,
rule say now concerning that provision?
the final rule was like this. We talked about in the Dynasty show. Males are assigned at gender is assigned at birth, not by your choice. You know, that's what it is. That's the
So
final
you
rule.
brought up Obamacare, making the same, insinuating that it was there.
No,
There was
I
a
never
clause that
said
was
that. I never
protecting
said that.
transgender,
I said,
when in fact it
look,
didn't say anything
hold on,
about that.
hold on. I support the Obamacare Act because I like what it did to the Medicare Part D donut hole. It basically like this. I don't think this health reduction, Inflation Reduction Act was necessary. That's screwing the whole industry up. I think the Affordable Care Act was actually good. You know, to tell you the truth, I thought it was good. But that was one thing. I guess that was what Boehner was talking about, right? That they put in at the last minute when it was going to negotiating, and they basically did it so that it wouldn't come in like for 10
That's a
years.
generic thing, Carter. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It applies to employment. When you go to your employer, it tells you can't discriminate based on sex, gender, or
No, no,
race,
no,
right?
no, no, no.
It
That has
tells you that.
nothing.
That's what that provision was talking about. I read it, Carter.
Section 67 had nothing to do with their employment and anything like that. It
No,
has
I'm
everything.
saying that same civil right thing is used in employment, that you can't discriminate
Oh
people
yeah,
based on their race or
you
their
cannot
sex
do
or their
that.
gender.
Oh, that's a whole different argument. What this does has to do with the interpretation of our healthcare system. How do we find gender? You know, you could basically go to a job, right? You self-identify as a woman, nobody can fire you. That's against the law, you know. But when it comes to the healthcare, right, and stuff like that, the final rule in the Trump administration says gender is decided at birth. Period. That's the final rule, you know. And who does that? Who does that? The administration, you know.
Okay. Carla, let me read
Men,
it real quick, right? Section 1557 is the civil rights provision of the Affordable Care Act of 2010. Section 1557 prohibits discrimination on the grounds of race, color, national origin,
you're
sex,
missing the point.
age, or
Hold
disability.
on. You're talking about, hold on.
It
Section thing.
concerns with health programs and activities.
It has everything to do with the what's it called, right? That's open for interpretation. Like I said, that's the law. Yeah, you can't discriminate, right? But the only loophole is, right, is when people decide that they want to change their gender. That's where the final rule comes in, you know? And the federal government says, yes, you can distinguish between a man and a woman. That's the final rule. No, you can't discriminate, but you can like this, you know? Now I got some of these trolls trolling me and whatnot. Get out of here. Get out of here. Thanks for calling in. Kick in the studio. Boom. You know, I'm sick and tired of people
Yeah,
trying to
is it
troll.
what it says? Here's the rule part of it. The rule makes clear that sex discrimination prohibited under 1557 includes discrimination based on an individual's sex, pregnancy, childbirth, and related medical condition. That's what
Yeah.
that's what the rule said. It
Yeah,
didn't say anything about.
hold on. But you missed one thing out. It says nothing about gender identity.
Because that's what I'm saying. So how can you say it protects it when it didn't never
No,
said it?
what I said was the final rule, right, says that we when it was tested because Obama administration and Biden administration said, you know something, you know, we consider people who consider themselves women as a minority group as civil rights. So that's discrimination. If you decide to become a woman, like this, the final rule of the Health and Department of Health and Human Services says absolutely not. Men gender is decided by
What's
birth.
the final rule? I want to see the rule. I'm not saying you're wrong. I want to see that
Look,
ruling.
look, look. I'll find it for you. You know,
Okay.
since you want to know so bad, it said final
So we
rule.
can agree that the Obama ACA didn't put anything there about transgender and protecting them. We can agree on that, right?
Look, that's not the issue, but it did not
Okay.
say it. So it didn't specify that, right? The people took that as okay, it's open ended. And what happened was the Trump administration closed that loophole. That's all.
Mm.
File it for gender identity. Okay, the Biden administration issued a final rule in April, May 2024, Section 1557, Title 9. That was Title 9. We'll talk about Dynasty. Strengthening protection against gender identity discrimination. See, he did start this, and Trump reversed it, right? Are you listening, Elvis? You know? Anyway, shit, my fucking power. I'm gonna go off in a minute. Anyway, it says affirming like this. That's what he did. The Trump administration came in and reversed Title 9, you know, of the Affordable Care Act. Look it up, do your research before you come and debate me. You know, Title 9 is what the Biden administration put into the Affordable Care Act. Title 9, you know, provision. Trump administration reversed it, you know, and gave a new ruling saying that gender is decided by birth and the federal government has no right to assign gender to anybody, you know. So, Boney Blowing Podcast. Well, I was born in New York City, you know. I was born in New York City, New York City. So anyway, it's been a good night, man. But I gotta get up in the morning. All right, Elvis. Good talking to you.
Mhm.
Do
All
your
right, Carl.
homework. Come back when you really want to
Nope.
debate.
I did the homework and I proved you wrong, Carl.
No, hold on. But you know what? Explain Title 9 then.
Is that Obama or is that Biden?
That was Biden administration, and guess
Okay,
what?
then. So when you said the Obama Health Care Act,
Hold
didn't say
on.
anything about that.
But Donald Trump, soon as I think one of his executive orders was he got rid of Title 9.
Yeah, but that's not
Goodbye.
what I was arguing for. I'm not arguing against but
That
argue Title
was
IX. We're talking
nothing to
about the
do with
Affordable Care
the
Act.
overall. It had nothing to do with the overall Forward Act. It was that Title 9 that Biden
Okay,
had.
that's a whole different thing, Carla.
Uh,
Well,
uh,
good night,
uh,
man. Good conversation.
he had that Title 9 in there. And bottom line, Donald Trump said he would get rid of it when he got elected. That's why I voted for him. Simple as that.
All right.
You know, no other reason is that he was going to get rid of Title 9 because it was annoying to me what I do for a living. You know, I was not going to abide by that. My
So it
values.
wasn't Obama's fault then. It wasn't the
No,
ACA because you mentioned the ACA.
It wasn't Obama's fault. That was something the Biden administration put in there and whatever like that. It wasn't the ACA. It was just a title they put in there. They could put anything in the law. It's cloture. You don't add stuff in and let stuff come in along the way and put riders in and stuff like that. But the thing about cloture is this: you can always remove it. You can always remove. It's not written permanently in the law. It's up for interpretation by the current agency head, which is always at the whim of the current administration. You know, that's how the system works. You know, administration is in power, you elected, election has consequences. What you call, you got
A lot of consequences right now is what's going on in the war.
whatever. Elections have
So
consequences,
that's
right?
one of the consequences that you brought.
At least I got what I wanted, you know. So get rid of that Title 9. That's all I care
Sure,
about. You know,
sure it's worth it.
I don't care about nothing else. I don't care about
Higher gas
immigration.
prices, going to war,
Whatever.
higher food prices, higher cost of living.
It is. It is what it is. Sometimes you
Yeah,
have something. You
that's a
know.
good trade off for you.
Anyway, I
All
gotta
right,
go,
man.
folks. Thank you for joining me tonight. One night, sorry for a short show. It's tomorrow, Sunday. I might be back tomorrow night. I'll talk to y'all later, folks.